I'm a
Hey
very
guys.
competent wizard, I'll have you know.
I don't know about that.
Uh-huh.
Welcome back to the Unfortunate Sons session 22, Expedition Day 4. The date is the 4th, well, the night of the 4th, as we still haven't passed the 4th night. The month is the planting, so thus April, and the year is 65009. Last time we left off, we managed to get through 3 hours of in-game time, or in-world time. Over the course of, I think, 5 hours, roughly 4 hours. The party managed to, after having come back and survived a thrilling and dangerous fight, decided that they would together play a trick on poor Eider, sending a messenger stating that they were dead ahead of time, leaving him in a kerfuffle all week while he had to think about it. Thus, though, as we came back, finding out that the party had not managed to perish, and instead they had managed to, well, somewhat thrive, in all honesty. As the party managed to learn a bit about what had happened and what Eider had seen, what had happened to the mercenary expedition, and why the entirety of the expedition was completely thrown into chaos, the party would find themselves splitting up with Dom, Ned, and Kez working inside the tent of the Flock of Justice, trying to assist those that they can, while Frungus would find himself heading in towards the head of the camp, meeting with Bun Woodwalker to try and figure out what is going on in truth and get a better grasp of the situation overall. Though, and lastly, with Sprungus heading into the forest to see and check out the battlefield and what had happened, the party split into three separate groups, with them coming back not shortly after that, as they had managed to not only stabilize the those that had been brought back from the massive battle, an attack from a giant rock, but with the help of Sprungus, they managed to even collect a couple or three of the dead creatures, bringing them over. Shortly after, I believe between Eider and Domnander, the party would manage to convince the Small Hand, a group of mercenaries that had broken off from within the Black Hand's own company, a group of, I believe, roughly, let me double check my notes, roughly 35 members managed to split away and join up with your camp. However, as the rest of the night would continue on, the party would find out an unfortunate bit of news about Ned's own grove, as Ned would draw the R from his staff, the R for regrowth, as his as his grove is known for. The R would immediately cause Sprungus to go into a berserker's rage as he just started charging towards the forest, out into the darkness and disappearing. With Ned and Kez deciding not to get involved with it and heading to bed instead, we're just glossing over the skullbuster. Yes, we are glossing over that. If you want to talk about it, go put it in the chat.
That was private.
Yeah, you can go put it in the chat. Listen, hey, I'm doing the today's telling. If the viewers want to remember, they can go rewatch the whole last episode. With Sprungus running off into the trees and vanishing, the party, Dom and Eider deciding to head into the trees with Frungus to grab hold. Well, Eider being, was it Dom who was dragged by Frungus? I can't remember which one of you got taken with.
It was Dom.
Yeah, it was Dom. Yes, as Frungus grabbed hold and started dragging Dom along, convincing them that this would be in their better interest, Eider decided as well to also join in to not let Dom die. Though Kez and Ned would instead decide to retire to their beds for the night. So Kez, go ahead and relax to enjoy.
Yeah.
Sit
Right.
back for the next half an hour to hour as your party slowly dies. Pull out your iFunny, any homework you need to do.
Hey, listen. In my defense, Kez went to bed before this all happened.
No, listen, I'm not
It's
fret.
like I ignored it.
I'm not giving you shit 100%. You just got some time to kick back as we jump over. Well, to at first Sprungus, as he is tearing apart bears, trees, and anything else he can find or get his hands on in the trees, We jump over to Sprungus. I need you to make me a will save, Sprungus, to see if you can manage to break away from this rage.
Okay. Not good at will saves. But,
Oh, no, I remember. Trust me, we all remember very well.
Yeah, not a save build.
Kez is over here having a good old time dancing in his sleep. Yeah, Sprungus, everything around you must die. Anything and everything. The trees, the grass, the mountains, everything has personally offended you and declared itself a god this day.
I imagine there's just lava-burned footprints just leading to wherever I'm sprinting around.
Yep. As you start carving into the trees and bushes, into any creature that unfortunately comes through, a rabbit that gets eviscerated in a single hit, leaving nothing left, as you head further into the forest. Alright, we'll jump back to you in a moment. Frungus, Sprung, Eider, and Dom. You all find yourselves entering into the dark forest. The sounds in the distance of trees colliding and crashing into the ground, meadow clinging against stone, creatures screeching out or roaring out in pain and fear as you hear them running about. The woods beginning to spark a light as you see little bits of fire kind of blazing in the pathway of Sprungus. What would you all like to do?
So, Frungus, you've got a plan, right? Because I'm pretty sure he'll kill us if we get too close.
Yes! I'm just gonna ask him to stop very nicely.
Oh. Dom just kind of like shares a look with Eider.
I mean, please, by all means, go on a murderous rampage. Get some XP.
What the hell is he on about?
I have no idea what he's talking about, but I get a weird head pain whenever he says it. Maybe it has to do with the cataclysm?
Don't worry about it.
Eider, I'm going to be honest, I'm quite worried about this situation.
I am too. Here, let's look for tracks.
Tell me
Honestly,
I'll track him down.
as Eider says this and looks over into the forest and sees the glowing smoldering footprints that are leading deeper into the forest and the very clear swath of cut down trees and bodies lying about.
Eider, you're a natural at this. You should become a huntsman.
Hold on, I'm looking for clues. He may have gone this way. And I study the fucking footprints, clearly delaying.
Listen,
Like,
if
I'll
you
look
find any
around.
magical beasts, take their magic parts.
I was gonna say, is there anything around us other than the corpses of poor unfortunate animals and lava footprints?
Trees that have come in, cut down a rock that seems to have been split in half that wasn't even in Sprungus's way. It just seems he did not like that rock personally. It's off to the side and has been completely split and decapitated.
I take time to prepare a dwarven funeral for the rock as we pass it by to continue delaying.
Hey, that's Kez's job. We gotta bring Kez back later for the rock.
Oh no, it's a dwarven funeral. It's for a rock.
Oh, that's true.
I'm fully playing into the stereotype here. God damn it.
Tally ho!
As you
Yeah, I
look
guess
about,
Dom's-
you do notice most of the creatures that you do see on the ground seem to be either a mix of small rabbit-like creatures or medium-sized wolverines that look to... as you kind of look and notice, a couple of them seem to be wearing collars as you start to follow the tracks further in.
Do they have any symbols on them that would denote, who they're owned by?
It does have a symbol. I'm glad you asked. It has a giant.
Yay.
It has a gear on it, like a actual metal gear as the symbol.
What the fuck?
Snake? No.
God damn it.
Aiter, you might want to see this, and I'll call him over because I'm sure Frungus is paying us no mind.
I'm skipping through the burning forest
That's what
on
I
my way to
pictured.
see my brother.
With Selena tune, a few birds, land like a princess.
Dee-da.
Yes, Sprungus. You are still shouting that. However, the party does not hear this, nor do they seem
Yeah,
to
but they
hear
heard
any
the
noise.
first one.
They
They heard
did.
the first one.
They did when you ran into the forest, yeah, when you started charging, that's true.
Either do you recognize what this symbol could mean? It might be tied into the rocks that attacked camp.
I do like a rogue hunch and like look down at the symbol. DM,
Yes.
what do I roll?
Give me well,
What do I roll?
what do you, like, okay, as a player you're looking at this, what do you think it might be? Are you thinking this is a religious symbol, or you think this is a notable symbol, or are you thinking this is a merchant symbol? As either. Because that'll tell me what you're looking to roll here.
I mean, between religious or noble, because I don't imagine the.
Then I'll take a knowledge history for that one.
All right.
When all else fails, you roll history because it
Hey.
covers a lot.
Yeah, history is the general one. I just like to ask in case you're thinking, in case the character's got like a something in their mind already that's kind of like clicking together. So never know.
27.
20. Well, you know his children, his grandchildren. The future is entire. No. So you recognize the symbol as a merchant symbol. This is a merchant company that's recently gotten a little bit more notoriety. You only have heard about this a little bit in your passing, and kind of amongst the town as when you were up in Velkomen. A group called the Inventors. Supposedly, some believe they're a splinter from the collective who specializes in collecting blueprints and inventing and building things. Others believe that they're a group of cultists who believe that there's this tiny dwarf that lives in the sky that is their god. There's not really 100% a well-known fact of where it stands, but this sigil would mark that this person is probably one of their members. As you look at the Wolverines and take a second, these are probably trained pets of the person to move around parts quickly.
I like kind of wince and say, I was hoping that Frungus would just kind of stumble into some kind of bad guy and not be a problem, but it seems like he's about to start hurting a bunch of potentially innocent people. I don't know.
Who is the group?
My fucking brain just completely lapsed. What the hell are their names again?
The Inventors.
The Inventors. The Inventors. They're potentially a splinter group of the collective. I haven't heard anything bad or negative about them. They might be like just like a weird religious kind of sect or cult, but like they don't do anything bad.
Don't think they're tied to that one guy who claimed to be from the collective who we think is behind the ghoul stuff, do we? As Dom kind of like squints at the collars.
More
Do
mechanical.
any of the animals
less
have
magic.
like parts on them, like that they were carrying? Like any evidence of like stuff?
They don't seem to have any boxes or any like saddlebags on their sides or anything. And looking inside, they're not like mechanical by any means. It's just red organs that have been splattered about from the mulching that Sprungus is giving them.
So, do you think we should maybe uninvolve ourselves so we don't get thrown under the bus for this, or do you think we need to definitely help because we're going to get shit for this if we let him continue?
Little column A, little column B. Definitely going to try and at least dissuade him.
All right.
Before we keep going though, I like pull out like this little like plate thing, and I like press it against Dom, like seem to activate it, like kind of like jog up, like press it against Frungus, activate it. Like there we go.
What was that?
One
Kind of looks down at himself.
of the only things that my cousin has done good for me in the last little bit. It lets me keep track of where you are, if you're in the midst of a condition, generally speaking, and about how far away you are.
So it would have been useful when Ned originally ran off and all of this started to happen, but good to know I won't get lost.
All right. Well, let's get a move on, I guess. All right, Frungus.
Yeah, I'm following after Frungus and avoiding stepping in like the lava molten footprint.
Alright, as you follow after Frungus, who's kind of leading the way, skipping his way after the two of you kind of jogging to keep up with him. As you go, we're gonna jump back over really quickly to Sprungus once more. Sprungus, give me another will save.
Come on, Sprungus. Come on. I believe in you, buddy.
21.
21. As you find yourself suddenly kind of looking around, your eyes could begin to clear, the redness vanishing around you. The darkness of all of those godly-like creatures, Oat's followers, and himself don't seem to be anywhere around. As you look about, you see 4 drow kind of surrounding you on the ground, cut down into split pieces. A few wolverines kind of splattered across the field. You stand in what looks to be a field of bodies, and what used to have trees was not a field when you got here.
I just nod. I had accepted before I had gone on a rampage. The trees were evil.
Ignoring the elven bodies and the wolverines,
Hey.
Sprungus looks at the trees, nods to himself in affirmation, turns back around.
I remember very little, and I just know if they're near me, they probably attack me first.
As you start heading back, we're gonna jump back from you guys in a moment. Kez, are you just going to pass right out? Just to confirm something for me.
Yep, I'm sleeping.
Sleeping out cold? Okay.
Because I mean, after we got back, I spent a whole day in the medical tent, taking charge there, and then that whole thing with the champion being dead and shit like that. Yeah, Kez is clocked out.
Kez is clocked out. Okay, I wanted to make sure. Alright. No worries then. Alright, then we jump back over to Frungus, Sprung, and Dom, and Eider. He does have
Brother!
You're gonna shout it out to the into the forest. Looking about,
Brother, where are you?
You continue to pass by trees, rocks, wolverines, rabbits, some small wolves, a red tiger, a couple of smaller creatures here and there that look to be almost discernible from the pace that they are left in. Trees that have been fully uprooted and pulled out. About 10 minutes of walking goes by as Frungus continues to shout out. As you lot see Sprungus suddenly push through 2 trees and come out of a dense shrubbery.
Ah, there you are, brother. Do you want to kill me?
No.
Okay. Let's go home.
That's simple.
I just like turned to
That's
Dom and
simple.
like, wow, was anticlimactic.
Sometimes you just need to let out a little stress.
I found dead little people.
Dead little people? About my size?
I mean, I think they'd be about, right, DM? Roughly?
Frungus, how tall are you?
Well, in this form, I'm...
Like 5
I
foot?
think I'm like
6 foot?
I'm like 5'2".
Yeah, roughly about the same size category. A little bit taller on average, but yeah, Sprungus.
Word.
I'll just nod to your size, but paler.
Ah, incredible.
Had little
Hey.
animals with them.
Let's loot and then go home.
We should probably see what we're
I guess
dealing
I'll-
with.
Just lead them to the drow corpses and all their animals.
Yeah.
Who
It's like-
fucking cares who they were? They were obviously worshippers of another god.
I also found a bunch of oat symbols on the trees.
Ah,
Hmm.
disgusting.
Like carved in or magical?
Mm,
Was this while you were ensorcelled or after?
both. Before and after.
Do we see any symbols on the trees?
I was assuming I could take them to one that I found before I went crazy.
You gonna sorry, what was it?
I'm assuming I could take him to him from before I went fucking crazy, because I found these beforehand.
Yeah. As you go and look over, kind of point at one of the trees in a distance, not really looking at it, Sprungus, trying to keep your face looking away, remembering what what had happened. You as Dawn. Oh, who's going to look? I should ask. Towards.
I'll do it.
I am.
All right.
I fighters too.
I will need will sage from both of you.
Okay. Yay!
Don't worry, I can
together,
grapple you
buddy.
both if something happens.
I was gonna say, if we start killing each other, just like stop
Well,
us.
these are symbols of oath, not the symbols of rage. To be fair, right?
They might do something worse though.
That's fair.
You are correct on that. Yes. For what they are.
Wonder
That
what
was
they're
just
gonna
for my own.
Yeah, for your own reference. They're not the. Yeah.
Okay, I got a 17. I didn't roll too well.
Alright, one sec. God damn you.
Oh, is this an enchantment? If this is an
every
enchantment
time.
spell, I do get a bonus.
You fool! You foolish fool! I prepared years ago.
It would be 19 if it's enchantment.
Okay. As you both kind of feel your minds for a moment clouded, you kind of shake it off for a second and feel the magical effect kind of dilute and die off. As you look, you see a holy sigil of oat carved into the tree. And as you kind of focus a bit more into it, it's not just a simple carving. As you realize, the magic itself seems to come from the symbol. Every line is carved with a depiction of Oat's holy beliefs or order. And thus, you can kind of see the thing seems to have even more power than what you'd have guessed, giving it, with the intricacy of the carvings into it. Yeah. Excuse me, I'm reading off my own notes here, so I apologize.
Forest really is cursed.
Yeah, no shit.
We
count
we
about
avoid the
15.
compulsion, right?
Yeah, you did. You count
Okay.
about 15 trees in total that have these markings in them.
Can Dom go over and start like attempting to like punch the symbol, like or like destroy them or desecrate them in some way to like prevent them from working?
You could set the tree on fire.
Can I?
I don't know if I have the.
Or you could cut the tree down.
As I could. Do I have a slicing weapon? I know
Sprung
I
just
can
cut
punch.
tree.
Hold on. One second.
Strongo!
What about it?
I think we should burn this forest.
You're running
do
over and
I do
like
have
trying to
to
jump
steal
up and
and
wave.
Like, damn it! Just give me a second.
I think either has an idea.
As they all look down at you, either well, except for Frungus, he only has to slightly look or angle his view.
I have to angle my head like 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we have to look down so far.
All right. This is going to be a little anticlimactic because I really wanted to study it because what it's doing is amplified based off of like the predilection of runes. I want to copy that technique. So give me a minute and then I'll blow it the hell up.
You're gonna study an evil.
No,
The calligraphy of it is the part I'm studying, not.
I can see the use. If we encounter this in the future and Aether knows how it works, not only could we prevent them from working in the future, disarm them, we might be able to use them for good, for our own purposes.
No using.
I was saying, I'm just
God.
gonna give Sprungus like an uneasy look.
Aether is not aligned with the god. If he used the runes, it wouldn't be through divine magic, rest assured. We aren't tied to deities ourselves. Aether, correct? Your magic isn't divine?
Nope. It's something else entirely. It's not even technically arcane
Soul
either.
based.
Nope. Pure, raw bullshit magic.
Now, I want to just put a technical out there, Frungus, for you. Not for what Eider is. What Dom said is actually a lie. By stating they're not, technically, their party is tied two gods right now. One being Kez and his own clerical beliefs.
I said
And
we
two,
are, as in us two.
you know the thing that you've been sensing magic or divine aura coming off of since you met these people, the little marks that you can clearly see on their necks, being a mark of cataclysm.
Might not be willing, but you are tied to something.
So when they
Okay,
say they
well,
are, you I want to mention, Fungus, you can fully see that whether or not they are tied to cataclysm, as you don't know much about this god itself at this point. They do have marks on their neck that do all seem to be identical.
Meant us wielding the power of God, specifically me and
Hey,
Eider. You're welcome to.
I had to give Fungus an answer because of his character and something he has set up
No,
to
that's
him.
valid.
So
Do I need to roll persuasion? Because I'm not trying to be deceptive. Dom is being honest from his point of view.
no, you're not. You don't have to
Okay.
roll anything. I'm just making clear that he can see the sigil, so like making clear he knows that may not be the case. So, but yes, Eider, as you were saying about the symbol.
Yeah, no, I want to study it because it seems to be like the carvings seem to like draw off one another. And I wanted to like study the technique to replicate it in a non-religious setting.
Give me you're good.
Can I attempt to? I'm not really magic proficient, but I imagine Dom has literally the calligraphy skill. So could I attempt to aid another with this?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Give me a spellcraft, and I'll take a I'll give you a +2 on it from the aid.
Woo!
Hell yeah.
Assumingly, Fungus and Sprungus are just gonna be kind of watching and not assisting in this. Jesus Christ.
My 2 really helped, guys. I think I was a big player here.
I think I'm fully leading Frungus away to get the bodies.
Okay. Good to know. Give me a second to note something. Let me just note my own thing here now, because I've got to write something down. I didn't think you'd actually manage that. Give me a minute. I need to
Power of friendship.
Look up some information of my own. You caught the DM on one of his few things. He didn't think a player be able to roll. Happens every once in a while.
This man's spellcraft is no joke.
Yeah, well, he's about to learn something far. Do you want me to tell you out loud so your party gets to share in this fear, or would you like to just have a background reaction out of curiosity?
Oh, let's do a background reaction to.
Yeah, you could say.
Alright.
I want to hear what Eider conveys verbally.
Yeah,
In
maybe
regards to
that'll
what other
be
information.
fucking wild. Because I have been
Yeah.
known to draw my own conclusions and thoroughly warp whatever the fuck you tell me, which has been fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright, where are you on my list? There you are.
He's just like, Dom, everything's perfectly fine. And then Dom instantly gets a sense motive, like, spidey sense, like,
My nose is fucking bleeding.
Yeah, you're like, everything's fine, Dom. You don't need to look more into this. And Dom's eyes, like, slowly narrow. And there's just, like, a little marker near Eider's head that's, like, a potential lie detected. Sense motive now? Question mark? Yes? No. And Dom's just, like, hovering over the yes button.
I feel like that button is just always in Dom's like POV.
Well, it's like some, you know, like some games.
It's like the
where
nuke
you
button on the president's desk.
Yeah. Until proven
motive
otherwise,
football.
assume yes. He has a. It's always a prepared action, unless another action is stated.
No.
I will tell you that calligraphy to make this the way they did this would have taken a 30, just because that's not like big shocker for your reference, but yeah, so they had to have a calligraphy skill of 30 at least to also carve this in.
Oh yeah, no, that was the difficult part of that.
Yeah, I figured that was important.
Fucking half ranks will get it done by that point. Jesus.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh Jesus Christ. No, I just kind of like eyes go wider than you've seen them go before, including when he was staring down like the fucking avatar of Cataclysm or the Smiley
Oh,
Demon.
great.
Like,
You don't want to say that because the moment Utham finds out, I'm going to get a message here and I'm going to get yelled at for something.
I just like turn to Dom and says, "I have some bad news."
When is there ever good news to be told with us?
Not
What
Utham's
is it?
plans, apparently. That's an epic spell. Or part of one.
Uh-huh.
It's
Do keep elaborating.
so. That might have to do with how Jakix did the thing that he did before. Because it's designed to suck mana out of the area and remove it permanently.
I assume that includes living things.
But the things don't have mana for the most part.
Fuck. That was just a... that was a totally out of character, like, I was typing notes as I said that. It was like an NPC auto. So ignore that. Dom would not say that. I'll accept left. Sorry. Dom's proper reaction to that would be to probably look very uneasily at the symbols. Is there a way to disarm or disable them permanently so they aren't here? Because it's very bad if they're here.
I'm sorry, what was that last bit?
Because it's very bad that they're here.
Yeah, we should burn the forest down.
Okay, cool. Frungus, arson is back on the table, and Dom pulls out his flint and steel.
I was gonna say, you look, they're gone.
Yeah, we're gone.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
why Dom called out. I assume I noticed because I was just assisting that you two had dipped.
Oh.
I'm gonna
edit
strike my
something
flint and steel to ignite this tree. I'm
Wait.
going for it.
I forgot to do the number there. Here, let me fix that for you guys. There you go. Alright, you're lighting. Wait, hold up. What? I stop. I look away for 2 seconds and you're lighting the fire. There you go.
We need to burn the forest down. Dom calls out to Frungus that arson's on the table again, and I have a flint and steel in my inventory. I'm gonna take it out and light the tree. The one we're currently by.
Maya, can I put
Nothing
something
could
in
go
your
wrong.
head that's basic common knowledge of Utham's land?
I'm just gonna. No.
Yeah.
First, as you look up, you do see snow in the branches. And as you hold your flint and steel, and then look back at the snow for a second.
Well, I'm trying to light the base of the trunk, so as long as it's not an ice tree and it's
The
a
base of
living
the trunk,
tree,
as you look at, does have about an inch of snow still.
like the trunk itself, like the actual wood of it.
Like, no, on the ground. There, like this entire
no, yeah,
forest
I'm not
has
trying
snow.
to ignite the ground. I'm trying to ignite lower down on the trunk where the symbol is.
Okay. Oh, you're just trying to light the symbol on fire. Okay, that's it.
Yeah, basically where the
Oh.
wood is. Dom's
Well,
not
you do
great
know
at starting fires. I don't know if I'll succeed.
You do know a
but
very wet tree doesn't catch fire, right?
Is it wet if the
If
water
it's got snow, yes,
Hey.
very much so.
Hey, Dom.
Damn.
I got this.
Dom, yeah, you
I
see
mean,
Dom
Dom,
kind of
I'll
like
let
a
you-
tree, like very angrily, and he
I'll let-
finally relents,
I was
like,
gonna say, I'll let you roll for it, but the worst thing is, even if you
Yeah,
light the tree on fire, the snow will still melt onto it for your own notes.
no, I think it's just funny that Dom is aggressively trying to burn down this tree because he's very angry about the symbols, and then Ida just has to, like, put a hand on his calf, like, hey, let me do this.
Oh,
And Dom,
okay. Just to
I
the
was
one.
like-
oh my gosh.
Or are you
Yeah, just
spreading
like-
this out amongst the 5 trees that have the symbols?
Yeah, I'll do it. I can spread it out. It doesn't really matter. I could just take the time to do it. I feel like we're probably going to end up doing it, but like, yeah, I'll just like straight up blast the sigil off of these trees, like with a core of just pure magic to remove it from
Now-
just this plate of existence.
Before you confirm to do that, would you like to
Wait
roll
a
to
minute.
test that? Because there is known lyrium in these grounds. Would you like a second to think about that before you go through with this action? I'm only being
Wait.
nice as you're still a new player, technically, so normally this won't happen in the future, but...
Actually, it wasn't delirium. I was concerned about it. Like, just rethought about it because of the fucking magic, and I don't know how it'll react to pure magic.
I would say also, if
Alright,
this is
well,
an
you
epic
let
magic
Dom
spell,
run
this
away,
means that the
and you
spell, or that this spell could still be active, and you could only be hitting a point of the circle if this is a giant spell circle, which could also be cataclysmically bad, depending on how big this is for an explosion of magic. Just as a raw thought. Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
If you're using magic and this thing's designed to soak up magic, you don't think you might just be making it stronger, right? As I
That's-
see Eider pairing up some magic bullshit with my flint and steel, like.
No, I genuinely, that was what my first thought of was, because like after that, because like theoretically I could cast spells that don't have a level that's possible. I don't know how well that would interact. So instead, I'll just heat up the head of my axe and just start chopping at it.
Alright, one at a time going at it. Okay.
And I can punch from the other side. We can work our way towards the middle.
Alright, as you two begin on that, back at Camp, Kez and Ned still snoring away, the goslings curled up with Ned in his nest. We just to catch them up and keep them awake in the background. Okay. Frungus and Sprungus, we're gonna jump over to you for a moment. As you two head over to the kind of outcropping, you see the 15 drow on the ground and the about 12 wolverines. I've given you a list of what you managed to scrape, and I do mean scrape in a literal sense, as Sprungus did a number on these individuals. It doesn't look like they even had weapons in their hands when they died.
Look, I'm just saying, no one innocent is this well equipped.
I mean, you're not wrong on that. But as you also look about, you do not see any of the yellow cloaks of the Pack of Smiles. Just as a heads up. But as you two begin working out, kind of pulling apart the bits of leather from the wolverines and their claws, what you can, that's about what you manage to get. You two can decide what you want to do with the loot. Let me know on that one once you get a chance between the two of you.
He's keeping all of it.
Okay, Sprungus is cool.
Yep, I've already added it to my sheet. Yeah.
Cool. As we jump back over then to Eider and Dom as they begin to chop at the trees. Alright. The two of you are going to go ahead and give me an attack to see if you can manage to actually hit the trees and then actually do damage to the trees past its hardness. I will tell you, 32 damage does beat its hardness, shockingly.
Well, unfortunately, I can't do 32 damage with my fucking axe.
No, but I'm just letting you know.
Unless this tree is made out of adamantine. It should.
That'd be a cool tree, and I think Uther would be less mad about you cutting it down for him.
Yeah, dope ass tree, dude.
Oh shit!
I'm gonna
Honestly,
be honest.
That's
If
fair.
I had animated trees, no one would be allowed in this fucking forest.
That's true.
Yeah, he wouldn't
14,
have let
okay.
us, the dumbass expedition, come through. This place would be sectioned off.
Dom, are you also going to just give aid on this?
Yeah,
With
well,
the chisel?
Am I actually being handed a chisel, or am I just punching with my fist?
You were handled an adamantine chisel and hammer.
Does
for
that
what I
count as
understand.
an unarmed strike still, or is it different damage?
I just say it's a d20 plus your base attack.
Oh, okay. So
Because
same
it's
attack.
technically it's what do they call it? Improvised weapon.
Gotcha.
Which normally you get a deficit against, but you're not attacking a creature that can fight back. So I won't make you roll at a. Mine is good.
17 attack.
Okay, that hits. Eider, shockingly, a 14 actually does not hit.
it's an object. It has an AC of 5.
Kinda.
Let me check something, make sure. Am I right on that? Oh wait, no, you're right. Never mind. I'm thinking of something else. Oh, I was looking at its its hardness. Never mind. I'm looking at something else, not its AC. All right. Like, wait, wow. All right, 14. No, that doesn't do it.
The tree dodges.
I was like, what?
Okay.
Oh,
That mind sprung. No, you're good. Yeah, my bad. Go ahead and roll your damage, both of you.
What's the improvised weapon damage?
Just roll a 1 on damage. That's annoying.
4. It's just I think a D. Let me look. Is it a D6 still?
D6 seems right. That's what an unarmed strike usually is.
for a chisel, it'd probably be like a D3 since it's a very small improvised weapon, and it is still like it's my size, so it's like a medium size.
Oh,
But
I'm like wielding the toothpick right now.
yeah, but it will just straight up. It doesn't matter like how hard the tree is. Well,
It is
sorry, it matters.
adamantine.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't have a hardness of 20. I don't imagine. So it just like cuts through it like butter.
Ah, here it is. Okay, actually, it is a small weapon. So this is a D3 or small object. So apparently, small is a D3, medium is a D4, and large is a D6.
Have a D3.
So it does
type?
actually
I have a
match
D4.
exactly the unarmed strike thing.
I'll have to roll.
Ye
I'll
must
have to
use the
roll
online
dice.
roller. The D3.
Oh, Avray, you and I, we have a history.
If you're that prejudiced against it, you can't just roll a D6.
Oh my
Nice.
gosh, this is the second time it's rolled good. I know what game you're playing.
As you
Can't
both
fool me.
smack into the tree, slashing into it, the tree, and thankfully Ned is not here to hear this. You cut into the bark of the tree, scratching into it as hard as you can to cut through the markings. As it does, you watch as the tree almost immediately begins to kind of bubble, like with a liquid of what looks to be this green, like sap, kind of starting to overflow where your axe and chisel kind of cut into it, beginning to pour out onto the sap. As you hear the sounds of Frungus and Sprungus coming in the distance back.
I would like to bail immediately when I see the sap.
All right.
None of that on me.
As
Yeah.
Eider takes his axe and starts running, taking a good few steps back at a quickened pace, Dom following
yeah.
right
I'm
after.
doing some like monk backflip shit, like get me away from there.
Frungus and Sprungus, as you clear the trees, you watch as this nasty goo starts to spray out of the tree where you see two clear slashes, and then as bits of, it goes from a greenish slime to reddish, and then you start to see chunks that as you watch for a few moments and seeing bones coming out of it, you realize there was someone trapped in that tree. As the tree eventually, as it pours out a full body worth of bones, about a medium-sized creature's worth of still cleanly digested bones, almost to a nice grayish color. The tree from the wound begins to continue to expand as the axe and the chisel wound get pushed out from the force of the chunk and the fluid coming out. The tree falling over in the background as it topples itself, exploding, allowing the cap to fully start pouring out the ooze. After a few moments, ending as the bits of bone and little bits of red flesh you can see kind of float about the ground. There are 4 more trees still left, by the way.
Hold
Yeah.
you bad.
No, we're very much past that point. We 100%. You're correct.
I'm gonna look at Dom. Need real cutting tool, and I'm just gonna slam my sword into the ground as if Dom's gonna take it, even though it's way too big.
Me with the lowest strength in the party between like me and Eider, me with the lowest strength.
I'll tell you, you can lift the sword. I know you can.
Okay,
Just using
I
it.
mean, Dom kind of looks at the sword and kind of looks at the body that just fell out, the corpse, and kind of looks at Sprungus as like, I wouldn't want to take all the fun. You were wanting to destroy the trees. I doubted just chopping them down. I think really yours honored. You should be the one to finish the job. And I'm kind of like scrunching my nose up at probably what the smell's like. So
Sprungus blinks, not understanding why Dom's not just taking the sword. And he's just like, weird.
I mean, if Sprungus just stares at Dom will like sigh and go to pick it up, but he kind of doesn't want to deal with the corpse tree.
Oh, yeah. For your own reference here, I'll put it in the chat.
My only else, I really just want to see you roll the mod for this, because I think you have double negative, because it's an exotic huge weapon.
Yeah, I know that's what's gonna happen, and I think Dom and I have both just accepted this. So just tell me when I need to roll, and with how my luck's
But
been going, we'll
What
see
is it, Eider?
happens.
I know it's a -4 for exotic you're not proficient in. Is it another -4 for a 2 big weapon if you don't have monkey grip?
It's -2 if it's not sized correctly for you, so it's total -6.
There you go.
So in that 20, I would still get a 14.
To be fair, you only need a 5 to hit an inanimate object.
Well, you don't have a base attack of 0, do you? At your level?
No. Oh no, wait. Oh yeah. So it would actually, I think, cancel out my base attack.
And more. I know your base attack is at 6.
No. Yeah, obviously not. But
Yeah, let me make sure.
because I'm not
to
proficient in this.
clarify that. What are you trying to do?
Think,
Dom, sorry.
Brungus wants me to wield his sword.
Alright, how
Roll
Wants
big
to hit a tree with it.
Sprungus,
So I think-
how much does your sword weigh?
I'm glad you asked.
I was gonna say this might be too hefty for me.
Long dead. Yeah, they're long
Uh,
dead from what you can see of the bones. They're picked clean.
Is that for medium? I believe so. So, this sword... It's not light, but I think it's 92 pounds.
Okay.
That should be in my carrying capacity, I believe. Yeah.
Alright, as you pick up the sword, go ahead and you're gonna just strike one of the trees.
Yeah, and I guess I'm rolling with a -6, which my base attack bonus is 3, so a -3 to this.
D20 minus 3.
Yep.
Avery, it's on to you. I don't trust my dice. If you want to amend how you've wronged me in the past, Avery, now is your time. Oh, that's okay. That's
Well,
an average roll.
You
I'll
hit
take
the
that.
AC of the tree. Go ahead and roll your damage for it.
What's the damage the sword?
So this does 6d8 damage.
Okay.
I don't think your strength mod matters on this one, Dom.
No, I mean it's a +0 to strength anyway, so it is just
Big
pure.
sword.
So Dom has to whole body twirl, slice with the sword. It's
Yeah,
too big.
Dom swings wildly, doing a full spin as they slam hard into the tree, decapitating the top of it. And as soon as they do, out splooges out a corpse about what looks to be small and draconic-like, as it has wings and looks to have a long tail to the creature. Its skull also looks to be of dragon-like shape. The creature looks, as you kind of take a moment, to be a wormling of some sort. Again, no meat, only fluids of red-green ooze and bits of red-like bits of what look to be like red-like flesh, though fleck about and dissolve quite quickly. The bones are all that are left, and they look to be somewhat grayed. As this tree gets cut, though, the other three you notice begin to start to bulge themselves, and as slowly as this one, or as you guys watch this, the trees begin to bend and expand out, splitting as each of the three start to shatter, eventually exploding out from the force within a body, or again, skeletons being poured out. These three look to be identical humanoids of some sort. As you kind of take a second to look about them. As it does, I need all of you to give me a will save.
Charm compulsion?
Yay.
No! Raw magic explosion. So we're doing will
We're
and then
about to
reflex.
die.
You
Oh,
may
wait, so
will
will
then
or
reflex.
reflex?
No, will then reflex.
oh, will then reflex. Oh, so we're about to
You-
peep some horrors and then have to dodge.
Basically, Will's gonna be the magical hit, the reflex is going to be the raw force of it. Thankfully, Kez is in the distance snoring, enjoying
Ooh.
himself.
Oh no.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm having a great time.
I know, right? Yeah, no magical explosions, no ancient gods trying to kill you.
You.
It's a
Sprung
good
it-
time.
Sprungus has a fail on the reflex, success on the will, nice.
I
Reflex
think
is
it
my
might
lowest.
be opposite for me, but we're about to find out.
And then Frungus also will need to roll 26 will, 16 reflex. Okay. Will and
Will
reflex.
31.
I rolled really
Okay.
low on my reflex.
Reflex. Oh, 11.
Okay, so everyone failed the reflex say. Oh no, sorry, no. Sprungus did succeed. My apologies, at 18. Frungus, you
Yeah.
said you got a 21 for your reflex?
What? No.
Oh.
For my reflex, I got 11. For my
11,
will,
never
I got 31.
Okay, 31, that's it. Alright, making sure I heard you right. Alright.
Yep.
As you manage to succeed the will, Sprungus and Frungus exceeding the will, Dom as well, either you got double screwed.
Wonderful.
As the magic of force immediately explodes out, this will be raw magical damage, which I believe you can eat, but...
If I'm willing to fail
Wait, if it-
reflex,
Time.
can I save Fungus?
It has a spell level I could eat it, but if it's just like pure supernatural bullshit, then no.
Nope, this is a raw effect of you guys breaking a magical point in a very large ritual.
Then no.
Oh, well, that sound was accurate. Either you feel as the almost immediate explosion of 76 force damage slams into you, causing you to go flying backwards from the impact. As the hit of the force of the magic hits you, flying you into a rock, knocking you to the ground. You are not. I don't run, don't worry. If I did that, I wouldn't be able to do such high damage amounts. Don't worry.
76 to me.
Oh yeah.
Anybody who failed the will save will take the 76. Those who succeeded will take half. Which, for reference, is 38 points of damage.
Mm-hmm. Double checking if I have something for this or only against reflex saves.
You do not have the will save version of it, unfortunately. It's
I
called
would say,
metal.
Yeah, I didn't think
What's
I
my
did.
damage diff for succeeding both?
The reflexes, you aren't going to be knocked prone after this.
I'm just still
You
standing.
said it was
Yep.
36.
38, it's 38 if you or if you
Yeah, I'm
succeeded.
knocked unconscious, just barely.
Alright, as Dom is knocked away into the ground and also knocked unconscious from the force of the magic just smashing into it, the loud roar of the trees around you also ripping out of the ground and being shoved away. Fungus, I assume, is still up, potentially?
I could have
Yeah, I'm
taken
good.
full damage and still been standing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. As the two of you left standing, though the clearing around you, almost to be about 50 feet in diameter all around, looking about, you see there the grass itself is eviscerated, nothing but dirt and smoke seems to be about. The one rock that you can see Eider slammed into about 15 feet behind you, kind of sitting there being the only thing that managed to stay standing. The rock having a full imprint of Eider's back clearly marked into it. The design of his backpack, even his buckle, is showing as if it was carved into it. Yeah, cut to Kiss thing in the distance. Yeah. Dom on the ground, completely unconscious, knocked, having collapsed from the magic of power itself. Their body not managing to be pushed, thankfully, but themselves having fallen over right next to you, Frungus and Sprungus.
I guess we just got these. I guess I can heal them.
Oh yeah.
Oh!
Just got these.
You know, this wasn't intentional, but that's actually a really good happenstance.
You can help.
Guys, don't worry, guys. I got 2 healing potions in the loot pile.
I'm glad you like us enough to use them, Sprungus. Dom will remember this.
Let me check. I don't remember what the potion die for that is off the top of my head, so let me pull up my list.
I can pull up the spell it's based on.
Yeah, because it's basically that without the caster level. But I think...
It's 3d8.
There you go, so go ahead and roll.
Yeah, for potions, it's always the minimum because you can't do like a potion over a 3rd level anyway.
No, sadly.
We can. It's just an epic level thing.
8.
Don't
You both get 8 back.
Woo!
Yay.
I like roll on my side. Go. What the fuck? Ow.
As you look up at Sprungus, kind of pouring the last bit of the potion in your mouth.
Just glad there wasn't that beach with that weird ass fucking dwarf guy. Don't ask. As Dom's like kind of pulling himself up, like probably wincing at the many bruises.
Just like kind of like stay. I imagine it's like not too dissimilar from like having the wind knocked out of you after you like fall off of like a building. It's like boom. You're like ow. My everything hurts.
Sprungus,
Oh.
thank you.
Let's see.
Will remember
You
this.
will notice Sprungus's, a lot of his skin is like cracked because that wasn't a small amount of damage.
Give me just a second. I can patch everybody up.
He looks fine. He looks a lot better than you two, but
Yeah, in theory, I should be dead.
still looks like it hurt.
Oh yeah.
In the distance, Kez snoring, the camp getting up to, or getting about.
Kez has like a nightmare about Dom and Eider dying, and is like, thank goodness it was only a dream.
Rolls back over, curling up next to Ned's nice warm nest.
Yeah, with all the goslings.
You, Sprungus and Frungus and Dom and Eider, as you kind of manage to get yourselves to your feet, wiping yourselves off and taking a moment, you do start to hear the sounds of people from the camp coming in those directions, the sounds of footprint, metal clanging on the stone, people shouting for your names as they seem to be getting closer.
Oh, my harem approaches.
As they break the tree line, Frungus, you are... I don't know if this will leave you in disappointment, but you do not see any of the members of your harem amongst the first to come out.
Ah, the members of my future harem.
Oh, no!
My harem.
Just not yet.
Now that is the confidence I want in life.
I don't know. That seems like the kind of confidence that lands you in a jail
So I'm
cell.
kind of...
That's that Bill Cosby
Eider, as the two are, I imagine, still kind of getting off the ground, like, should we mention what we found here to people, or keep this hush-hush?
I wouldn't know what the fuck to do with it.
Found evil magic.
Yeah,
Be
it's like,
careful!
I
Spell
get-
effect.
like I cannot even begin to describe. Like I'm trying to imagine it because it feels like it'd be like trying to describe like quantum physics to like a 9-year-old. There's like so anyway. There's this epic level spell we found in the woods.
Yeah,
I would say
magic from a
the
foreign
basics-
time that hasn't existed in forever.
I was just say, well, people don't know. The idea exists because some people have already created epic spells in the world.
Yes, but those people are also nation leaders, not just some random, potentially hidden
Yeah,
person in
random
a
guy.
Yeah, but I'm
forest.
saying, if you say
Sword.
epic spell, everyone's not just going to scratch their head and not know what the fuck that means. They'll at
They might
least
be
get
like, that's not real.
Yeah, they
This-
might not.
Well, at this point in the world, only one has been made, because only the Anvil's first one has been created, so remember how far back they are in time.
Yep, still.
To be fair,
Yeah,
you have to
by
make
the way,
every
let's,
fucking epic spell yourself.
Let's fix that this session.
It's not happening. Good luck on that.
Oh my god.
Don't worry, I've fucked with time before. I can do it again.
Oh no.
Time Fuckers Part 2! But
I'm
we're in
going
the
to
future!
literally
Back to the
fuck time.
original campaign!
Oh no.
You're the guys who got replaced with after Time Fuckers come back. No, as you kind of stand there talking about this for a moment, contemplating whether or not to tell anybody about it, you do see the first of the expedition from the Flock of Justice kind of starting to make their way. A couple of the members who are still left standing, coming through the forest. A few frost giants on their tail right behind them as they kind of start to come out. You do get a few strange looks as they look about the very obviously cleared of everything from grass to tree, except for stones, like circle all around you.
Yeah, I like just kind of like give him like a bit of a shrug and says, "Old magic's in the woods. Careful whenever you're exploring; it might drive you mad."
Oat has invaded these lands.
Is Sprungus actually saying that?
Sprungus will more just mention they were symbols of Oat beforehand, but yeah, more or less.
Okay. Some of the you see some of the frost giants kind of nod at that and kind of seeming to take note of it. A few members of the flock kind of come walking over, immediately casting their own cure serious wounds as they go
Yay.
about.
Our allies.
It's like one of those is like, "Oh, thanks." She'll turn around instead. I could save you some spell slots, but I really don't have a way to tell you that.
Eider and Dom has 18 HP back at each.
Hell yeah. Can I, as I'm being healed, look at the people who seem to know about Oat and big shocker, sense motive to see if that's like that's that weird cult guy. Yeah, I know him. Or like, oh yeah, I worship that guy.
Yeah, give me a
Funny that
sense
he's
motive.
Here.
Yeah,
Oh,
does
hell yeah,
anyone
that was
fist
actually a
pump
good
the
roll.
air
Yeah,
in
Yeah, and
victory
anyone,
when
like,
they hear about
quietly, like-
Oat being here?
They're
right.
just like,
Like, yeah,
oh man,
That's my dog. That's
Would-
my
that's
man.
my dog.
What'd you get, Dom?
That's 24.
As you kind of look over at them at the mention of it, it seems that many of them seem to be taking note. You do notice a couple of them seem to be amongst the lesser noble rank of Utham's court, kind of noting that these might be spies of Utham's on the expedition who are here to actually make notes of this stuff. They don't seem to have any signs of like excitement. It looks to be more concern and worry as they kind of take note of the situation.
Okay, good. Dom feels a lot more comfortable knowing that he's seemingly surrounded by like-minded people Utham clearly trusts. He'll like thank the members of the flock who healed him and like stand up and brush himself off. And I guess I hand Sprungus his sword back. I like heft it up. I imagine it went flying with me, so I was holding it.
Yep. Well, you didn't go moving too far. As you kind of stand up. It
Yeah,
is in the
with
ground
the sword.
fully, though. Yeah. As you pick it up and hand it over to him.
Your weapon?
Yeah, you'll just see Sprungus casually twirl it once he gets it and like slam it back onto his back.
I just like go and retrieve my fucking adamantine tools from Dom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Seeing them
yeah,
imprinted
I
on the
handed
ground
it to him.
slightly.
I perfectly held on to everything while being exploded to death. A great grip strength. It comes with being a monk.
Dom says this as you look at the imprint of where the chisel and the hammer got fully stuck under their stomach as they landed on the ground. It looks like if the thing had been put at the wrong angle, that there'd be no Dom right now.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. Only some organs are essential.
But as the guards the flock kind of sees this, they start guiding you lot back towards the expedition camp, watching and eyeing the forest eerily, as they hear, or some of them seemingly thinking about what Sprungus said. A few others that seem to just be kind of watching the tree line.
I was gonna say, Sprungus is gonna ask whoever's near, should Sprungus go look for and destroy more, if there are more?
The dwarf the Snowbeard looks up at you for a moment in his heavy plate, but very clearly holy sigil on his chest plate that's kind of like coming out from under his neck. He looks up at you for a moment and says, "No, as soon as you guys we had 5 explosions at the same time. We just came running because we saw you lot go in this direction."
Oh,
so we
broke
took-
magic.
Who's this guy's holy symbol too?
As you see, it is, I say holy symbol, he's wearing it like one. It is a giant bear paw print. You do not know of any gods off the top of your head, that are a bear-like creature. However, noting, Frungus, that you had seen many of the flock mention that they worship and work under a monk known as Big, the savior of the Snowbeards.
We've heard of him.
Yeah. So as you see this, it doesn't take much to guesstimate. Maybe this is probably a way someone's got a holy sigil to him and is using it to make cast spells.
I think you marked Big in World News as he holds the gods accountable to not hurt the mortals. I think was his stance.
He is listed as a quasi deity. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But as Sprungus, as you see this, the guard looks up at you, Sprungus, and mentions this. What, you saying anything else?
No. Because from Sprungus's mind, if there were 5 explosions, we probably broke the circle. He understands magic at least to an extent that magic spell makes circle. That's how it works in spellbooks at least. So if there were a bunch in a circle that broke, it's probably gone.
I mean, stars are typically used in most circle designs as points of like the arcane energy kind of flowing through.
It makes some kind of shape with a center point, and if a bunch exploded at once, it's probably done.
Good point. Does Oat have a constellation that's sacred to him?
Fuck you. That's a good question. I didn't think anybody was actually gonna ask that.
I could roll you a religion.
No, I know. You know what? I'll take it.
All right.
Go ahead.
Would Dom know anything about that?
You seem like the equivalent of like being like a Taurus, right? You know, like the star sign and that kind of shit, like constellations.
Well,
Guys, I'm an old.
Yeah,
frowny
yeah.
face.
Oat is a Scorpio. That's why he's acting this way.
Bro's acting like such a
Guys,
Gemini.
He's not evil. He's just a Libra rising.
It's so funny because my first level feat for Keznok is one of like the born under the something constellation.
Oh
Mhm.
no, you're.
I'm just
I
waiting to
always
hear.
knew Pez was a Valley girl.
Yeah, right. I'm just waiting to hear like which one it is to know whether like it's gonna be a problem for me or not. Just being associated.
It's part of the femboy curse. Is you get astrology as part of it's a
Oh
package deal.
no!
Let me pull it up, cause it's been a while since I've had this. So give me a moment. Let me see, cause there is a full fucking. Now I'm gonna make clear when you ask this. To be fair, because I know there's a variant rule. Are you looking for what exactly are you looking for in this?
I'm genuinely just looking for if he's got a constellation that's sacred to him. Potentially, like, monastic or like semi-secret lore that I've managed to weasel in. Because I do have technically like a invocation that lets me cheat information in the form of giving me like the equivalent of all knowledges. So like, theoretically, I don't necessarily need to have studied it directly.
Yep, no, that's fair. All right. Yes, he is associated with the dragon star sign for your own reference. For those who don't know, in the astrological star signs, there's the Beholder, Harpy, Etten, Dryad, Sturge, Wyvern, Dragon, Unicorn, Hydra, Chimera, Kraken, and Basilisk. If I'm remembering correctly.
And there was how many points or how many stars are in the dragon constellation?
Double check.
Because that's 10 explosions that we saw, plus fungus, potentially another
5.
few.
You saw 5. There were 5 simultaneously with 5 trees.
Right. And then they heard another like, I think they had said it was like 5 explosions.
So as you note from the looking in the book, you look in the sky, and with it's kind of being night out, you realize the dragon is made up of 10 stars for the body and 6 for the wings.
Gotcha. So there's potentially 6 more out of there. If we're going by a constellation. Like do like a quick jog up to like one of the package or flock of justice and ask what the raiment was, and do like the fucking beautiful mind thing and just like try and plot them on a loose scatter map to
Ape the explosions and see what the rest are.
yeah.
As he
Hell
kind of
yeah.
he kind of looks at you. Yeah. Sorry, I was writing something down. So I have to make notes myself on certain things, otherwise I won't
Making a
remember
note
later.
to kill Eider.
Maybe. No. Says you were up to the flock of the justice in what? Sorry.
Because they had heard like a explosion that
You
the
mentioned
explosions
4
they
other
heard.
explosions. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like to just make sure I'm understanding correctly. The explosions they heard were separate from the ones that we caused.
Yeah, they heard 4 other separate ones. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I asked like what direction so I could and like try and like do like some very basic cartography to try and map out to see if it is potentially like trying to like mirror the constellation.
He looks at you and goes, all of them were were off to the east. It sound like they were all coming from over near night, and this was the closest one to us. I'm not 100%. We could see large trees shooting out from different areas, even from our camp. And looks at you and goes, I couldn't tell you really. If I had to guess, a bit more north of here, probably a good bit more east.
Okay.
As it kind
So
of
it's
looks
like-
over.
So we got like the western one, the northeast one. I'm gonna go try and make buddies with Sprungus real fast and see if we can do like a flyover aerial view.
You just turn looking at Sprungus at this mention.
Sprungus, who's like slightly limping, cracks on random parts of his body.
I just like walk up to Sprungus and go, so if I can return the favor and help out with a little bit of how you're feeling, how do you feel about looking for more of those trees? I have an inkling there might be more.
Trees worship oat?
Trees worship oat.
Yes.
I just gotta nod. I like pat Fungus on like the like thigh, and
Thank
give him,
you.
sorry, Sprungus. The thigh.
No.
Give him a full.
Can't take it back.
All right.
No.
Oh my. Anyway, I heal Sprungus for 36.
Okay.
What about me?
No.
I guess you could come too. I'll heal everybody.
Thank you.
Dom's just standing there.
Come along, Tom.
I will say, I'm strong. I can't lift all of you.
All right.
I was gonna say, Dom's a giant. He weighs a good amount.
Yeah, but me and old Ida are
know.
little
Old
compared to
Iders.
you.
I'm
Iders
leave
beard
me
one.
alone with these weirdos.
Yeah.
These random NPCs.
The
No, it's fine.
the flock looks among the the snowbeards look amongst you, lot kind of like trying to figure out what you're planning to do.
We just have like a little powwow while Eider just like constantly fucking cycles spellfire levels to heal everybody up.
Okay.
So I just, take a good, I guess, like 3 minutes max and just kind of.
Begin glowing, grabbing people, glowing again, grabbing people.
Well, amusingly, I have a cheater way because James. So I just activate the status plate over and over again to eat status because it's a second level spell.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just do that to like kind of like pull in the ambient mana, so it's a little bit less obvious than using like a full invocation.
Okay. Can you give me a wisdom check for this real quick?
Sure. 4.
4. Okay. All right. Sprungus, make a note for me for Saturday. James has lost 4 divinity points.
He doesn't have
When he gets his next 4, he will lose them. Remind me.
That is
He was
incredible.
gonna do what he just did regardless. That's kind of fucked up.
Yes! I finally fucked James back!
Because now we're
That
gonna.
Oh
is-
no.
That is
Hey.
sick.
Fair
I love
play
that.
is fair play, and James does not know the
Not fair
background.
play. What the?
As this is James's closest wholly associated item as of right now for what he's created as a magic cleric. All right. As you continuously reactivate this item, doing this, you feel a slight pull. Some slight irritation at the back of your mind, but nothing else as as you continuously do, ending kind of finishing up as you kind of heal your teammates.
It's like there's just like Eider like finishes up and feels unexpectedly happy for no apparent reason. It's like something smells and feels like revenge, and I don't know why. It's very odd.
All right, as you
Ryder,
begin
have
healing
this
up your
devious
teammates.
smile on your face. What happened?
Oh, I'm just so unexpectedly happy. Like a call of great justice has been answered.
Sprungus, he's gone mad.
I start unsheathing my sword. He's been possessed.
No.
He's been my
I will say at that Sprungus, you do notice a small, very minute amount of magic, divine magic seems to be flowing into Eider. It is even at what you would consider even a small child to be able to usually be able to create. Less than a cantrip's worth of magic, but you do sense it, and it does seem to be coming from some foreign entity's power, meaning a divine god of some sort or being.
You stop that.
Oh, I'm just trying
Stop
to.
that right now.
He's been chosen by a god. He must die.
The hell I have.
No. You don't feel a little extra holy?
No. Got slammed against a rock, but no holes.
Listen, if you feel any of these symptoms, you have to let us know legally.
Can do. I mean, honestly, the only god I was interested in was the Great Furnace.
Daddy.
I will tell you, with both of your divine backings, you can tell with that mention he is fully telling the truth. That with that statement automatically.
Word. Thank you.
And for your own notes for your characters, when people are talking about your daddy, as you will call him, it is an innate ability to tell if they're telling the truth in that exact statement. So do pay attention to the word.
like solars and shit.
Yeah, basically, but only when it refers to your papa, daddy.
Don't worry, we'll evolve.
Okay. Anyway, I kind of crouch down, have a small bit of vellum, but trying to jot down the rough positions of the the little trees that have been blowing the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
And say,
Happy little trees.
yeah. I turned it to Sprungus and say, in theory, if this is supposed to be a constellation thing, which is more likely than not, but can't say for certain. Then we've gotten 9 points. So in theory, there should be another 7. If we can fly up and take a gander, then I can plot it out and see if it looks correct or if this is just a crackpot theory and has no basis in reality.
All right. How are you planning to hold on to Sprungus? Are you gonna get in his backpack? Or are you gonna what's the plan here?
I mean, piggyback and or hand, because you're huge.
You want him to wrap his hand around you? All right.
I could just fucking rest in your palm like Frungus does the entire day.
Dang.
Well,
Frungus really knows
Frungus rides my shoulder most of the time.
Okay, we'll do that one.
All right. Your funeral.
I will also put a little side note to the astrological thing. There's different beliefs. Some for your own notes. Either in this world, there's zodiacs. I do run star signs and so on and so forth. So you're gonna find a couple of different options throughout, just to your own kind of mechanic knowledge.
Got it.
Yeah. But all right, Sprungus. So either you're riding on his back.
Shoulder to be able to,
okay.
Yeah, so I could have a good.
No, not that one. That's my favorite.
Okay.
Other shoulder.
I should shrug. Is I imagine there's a slight worn ass print in his shoulder.
His leather, the rock on his shoulder. Yes, it's quite polished, as you can clearly see.
Sure is. Oiled up and everything.
Wait, what?
Oh
What?
no!
I don't think you want oil while you're flying.
I don't think oil would last long on my shoulder.
But yeah, all right, Dom, you're going back to camp with the flock while the Eider climbs hold of.
Yeah.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
not staying in the woods alone. Yeah, I'll kind of walk back with the group, and if any of the guys are pestering me, I'll just explain that there was weird symbols on the trees and they were bad and they exploded. But otherwise, Dom's just gonna kind of be quietly walking.
I mean, the members aren't going to ask unless you're going to bring it up.
Dom's not gonna willingly offer up information. He trusts nobody but the group, so he'll just he might make idle conversation. He's not antisocial, but he's not gonna be giving anyone
Wait.
Okay.
You're saying Dom has trust issues?
Dude,
This is news to
I
me.
know. I've been
Don't believe
waiting
it.
to reveal this plot, this lore, for so long.
Oh,
He does.
God damn it.
Can I
Holy
sense motive
shit.
if Dom has trust issues?
No, gosh. All right,
100%
Dom.
bet. Get your money.
Yeah, Dom, as you head back to camp, you see as the circle, the fire is still kind of somewhat lit. A few members of the Small Hands seem to have set up watch around your wagon as well as their own that they've pulled over to to your guys' little camp grounds. But otherwise, as you get closer, kind of looking in, you see Kez snoring completely out cold, snuggled up to one of the goslings that had fallen out of the nest, using it as somewhat of a pillow.
That's character growth.
Well, it's also a fluffy creature that is warm.
Oh,
Yes.
it's also
Yes,
undead.
he's Yeah, technically undead.
Yeah, but
Dumb.
warmth from the fact that being in the nest is what I'm referencing.
I guess, because it is technically, is it late in the day, right?
It is night. It is.
It's
You can
literally
see.
night.
Yeah, moon
Yeah,
is
so
high
I'll
in the
go to bed
sky.
Also, I'll join the cuddle pile in the wagon where it's safe. I'll kind of like give a nod to the small hands people, say a couple greetings, and then Dom also needs to go and pass out after what's happened.
Okay. Alright. As Dom heads into the camp, or heads into the wagon, kind of passing out almost immediately. As you find yourself a little section of the wagon to sleep in. All right. Sprungus, as you begin to fly up with the two on your shoulder, I would love to have both of you, Frungus and Otter, to let me double check. Give me a ride check.
I'm assuming Frungus gets a bonus for doing this regularly.
Frungus' DC is quite low. That's why he's got the nice polished ass print.
Word. Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't expect you to put much into ride. Don't worry. Well, actually, to be honest, I expected Frungus' second best stat to be a ride, but you know.
That should have been your maxed
Oh,
out skill
trust
in
me.
background.
Brungus's preferences would shock you.
Oh no.
Oh no.
14.
So Eider is held the entire time by Sprungus on his shoulder, while Frungus just comfortably sits there, enjoying the breeze in his hair. Eider, it's
Hey,
your
I
first
rolled-
time.
I rolled extremely well for fucking full plate. All right, you leave me alone.
-6, you're right, you're not wrong. As you feel Sprungus kind of grab hold of you as almost immediately as Sprungus gets off the ground, you start to slide to the side. He grabs hold and kind of like holds your feet in place. You find yourself kind of wobbling back and forth, but you manage to keep your feet enough to stay standing to keep your pride, though your feet and your body is mostly being held by Sprungus. As you fly over this area, looking about, you count about 6 full clear markings that you can see even from the sky as you go dash. What's your flight speed again, Sprungus?
If we're going full speed,
Yeah.
180 feet.
180 feet. Yeah, easily. Managing to count the 6 explosions perfectly, looking similar as you look up to the skies to match the wings of the dragon. Based on the way you look at the markings, looking at Eider, it looks like the dragon would appear to be in the water, if that was the case, with the way the wings are shaped.
Got it. So like, the 6 are like the 4 that weren't part of ours, or was it the 5 and then like one additional one that like Frungus had cleared out?
As you look out now, you realize there were more explosions than the guards probably heard, because you can see even as Sprungus is flying a decent distance even past night, and there are further explosions in the distance where clear markings are shown where dense forest once was. Because, I mean, it's a 50-foot diameter, basically clearing that you can now see spotted, so...
Yeah, that's fair. So that's just 4, so that doesn't sound like it's enough of a data set to try and like fucking piece together Constellation.
Well, as you look, like I said, there's 6 in total that you count.
Oh.
Yes, you do see the 6. They're just further and past Knighton, as you realize the mercenaries probably didn't hear it from that far of a distance.
Also, depending on the set of 4, you still should be able to get an alright view of where you're at on the constellation.
Mm-hmm. Got it. So okay. I think my understanding here was flawed. I was thinking that each of the individual trees were supposed to be like the points of the constellation.
Mm-mm.
Is it like a cluster of like 5 trees is like making up one of these points?
Yep.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Looks like they're designed as you kind of piece it together to reinforce each other.
Got it. So it's like a quintet basically to like try and what the trees themselves, well, I guess they really wouldn't be able to unless they wanted to fucking replant them. They were just kind of like would have to be close together.
Mm-hmm.
There didn't seem to be like any kind of like ritualistic like layout to them, right? It's just kind of 5 clustered trees together to kind of share and bolster each other.
Yes, that's what it looks like. Yeah, Because the trees, their roots look to be intertwined with each other amongst the groupings, from what you can recall. Looking at when you saw them, they look to basically be designed to support as a point, like almost as if one tree would be strong enough to support the spell's that much magic physical point.
I mean, it makes sense whenever you're talking about, a several mile wide spell.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll I point to the water. It's like there's a river, or my misunderstanding is like there's the body should theoretically be in the water. Is that?
If you look at the pinned message of the map, you can see the city of Knighton. So most of the points seem to kind of either be there's 2 points on the west of Knighton, and then there are 4 points off to the east. Or sorry, 2 points to the I was right. 2 points to the west and 4 points to the east, and then it looks like as if the body of the constellation, if it's following where the wings would attach to, the dragon would be in the ocean north of Knighton.
Gotcha. Yeah, we don't have a way to interact with that.
It's hiding in the fucking ocean.
We gotta build that bridge we talked about last time, guys. We gotta make that bridge across the ocean. The road.
Yeah, that's high up on the list of shit that ain't fucking happening in terms of trying to deal with it.
I don't have to breathe.
It's more what's in the ocean. I think that's the problem.
Lame.
There's not like a reverse dragon or some kind of perverted symbol of the constellation, is there?
No.
Kind of like the Antichrist or some bullshit.
No, even doing it upside down or something of the sort would not symbolize anything in particular. The only thing to note is that the dragon is most often put towards King Movasi or the King of the Dragons as the representation of the dragon astrology sign, or more often than not, the god of the dragons, which, depending on who you speak to, can be related to the first dragon, who is a myth and not really well known what their whole story is, and then the queen of the dragons called Saphira.
Right, but it's not only linked to just pure dragons by themselves. It's also technically a symbol of power.
Yes, it is typically some sort. Typically, this is dragons will put this up as a show of supremacy of their species, or that they still control the area. It's a way of welcoming all dragons, but also telling other races of that they aren't welcome here.
Gotcha.
Word.
Yeah, I think I don't have enough to keep going on, and Ocean Expedition sounds way out of the pay scale. I have a running narrative for Sprungus and Frungus, if that helps them pitch in at all. But other than that, I think probably setting down and trying to get this information to the authorities.
Can I roll for a magic theory question?
Sure, what you think?
In that kind of related. When it comes to spell circles like this, that are very big, not even specifically epic spells, what would theoretically happen if they tried to use the spell with the parts we just broke not working?
I'll take a knowledge or arcana or spellcraft. Either of those will work in that case.
Amazingly, I'm very good at spellcraft.
Explosion.
I am indeed a casting class.
I'll take it on most combat classes just because knowing what spells get thrown at you is actually really useful.
True that.
21.
21. Typically, if a spell like this is being set up, there is usually a lot of redundancies. Of how much setup an epic spells typically will take. You're not just going to set up one set of the spell. You're going to set up multiple to go off in case of failure. You need the magic to go somewhere because you don't want to blow yourself up. As you kind of think about it for a minute, assuming there isn't a backup somewhere, most likely the next expectation is that this spell would implode on itself, causing the raw magic to go everywhere.
Which, it's in the ocean.
In theory.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it's not a huge deal to try and delve the ocean.
Alright. Sprungus and Fungus, or I guess Sprungus, since he's the one flying, are you heading back to camp then?
Yep.
Okay. As you go back down towards the camp, seeing the grouping, or the expedition still kind of gathering themselves, many asleep, some moving about already as they're on their watch. The majority, the few soldiers from Regan Utham's own personal troops that was sent amongst us all seem to be up and riding. You can see couriers kind of running off back towards the city in droves. As you come to a landing right next to your camp. A few of the small hand members kind of wave and nod to you as they continue their watch, just like watching the couriers pass by.
Just gotta like woodenly like lean forward and kind of like face plant a little bit into the snow to get off of the front.
Just trying to climb down, realizing it's faster to fall forward, and as you go dropping into it, you find yourself into a nice thin layer of snow and mud that's not the greatest as you pull yourself out of, but as you look down at the imprint of not only your the faceplate of your armor, but also your chest piece.
It was like, usually it's fluffier, but Fungus melts everything.
Which it is already starting to melt again, the little snow that was there.
Yeah. I like kind of like shrug to the other two and say, I can't say how much I appreciate your help there. I hope you don't think I just take it for granted. If you need a favor, by all means, feel free to ask. In the meantime, I think I'm either going to tuck in or try and tell maybe one of the collective about this, but I dubious that anything will come of it.
I will say, you see Sprungus go back to being a living heated tent. And I think you get the idea. You're welcome to just sleep there if you want to.
I'm probably just going to go back to my party just as safety precaution to like keep everyone together.
Yeah, climbing in the wagon, not trusting Sprungus.
It's not that I don't trust Sprungus, it's just more that I feel like Sprungus and Frungus can like take care of each other really easily.
You're afraid your lucky cart's gonna get stolen?
Yeah.
It's lucky. It's literally in the name. It's a thing in the name. No worries. Yeah, as you kind of nod them off, or wave them off, and start heading towards the back of the wagon, climbing your way in. You see the nice little like setup of curled up individuals. Fucking Ned with his goslings in the nest. Two of them completely submerged inside the little wood thicket. You can see curled up next to it is Kez with his head on one of the goslings, who does not look happy, but can't move Kez's large head, and seems to be just trying to like struggle. Kez just seems to be snoring quietly. And Dom, who's got their feet kind of kicked up off to the side, kind of shoved off to the other corner, completely out cold.
I just fit myself in and passed out.
I will attempt to rescue the gosling before I just kind of pass out on my own.
Alright, give me a strength check as you try and grab hold of the gosling and pull it out from underneath.
I was just gonna like lift Kez's head up instead of
That works too.
It's like trying to pull the gosling, I imagine, would hurt like a bitch. Granted, it's undead, so I don't think it can feel pain, but still.
As you're gonna lift Kez's head, the weight of Kez still being a large individual. Or are you medium, Kez?
I'm large.
No, you are large. As you try to pull Eider, his head is not moving. It's like a sack of bricks, and as you kind of try to lift up, his flowing hair seems to be very well taken care of, as you realized, as it's very clean and has a lot of natural oil to it, meaning your grasp is kind of falling through as you're trying to keep hold of his head.
Yeah, just like swear under my breath, like wince, like shrug apologetically to the gosling. And just like, fuck it, it's late.
As you go kind of like accepting it, the gosling looks up at you with sad eyes as you hear it begin to make a weird noise. A foul stench coming now from underneath Kez's head.
Just wince and like, well, that's his problem when he wakes up, I guess.
Kez, the smell of what you imagine Fungus to be like in your dreams suddenly just erupts as he now invades your dreams. You can't escape him as he starts chasing you.
The smell of daffodils.
True. Fungus smells amazing always.
Your favorite smell? That's what he smells like.
No.
I feel like Sprungus smells like a fucking Michael's aisle.
Oh, no.
No, it's like how the
Perfume
devil
section.
always appears as the person you love most. Fungus always smells like your favorite thing.
Going for
Sprungus
the cold
is just
section.
coal. Yeah, he just smells like burning coals, I imagine. But Fungus has actually got to have some perfume to him. But as the night goes on, you lot kind of relaxing and sleeping. Fungus and Sprungus, nothing seems to pop off in the night as you watch the night continue on. About 7 hours later, you hear as the cooks are walking around banging on their pots, not only to wake up the camp, but also calling for breakfast to be handed out. As they come by your wagon, seeing Fungus and Sprungus, as well as the small hand, the young koboldkin chef kind of looks up at you and takes the bronze pot and he starts smacking it with his spoon and goes, "All right, time to get up and eat your whatever we're making. Breakfast will be out in an hour."
All right, I'm gonna invade where they're making breakfast to make my own breakfast for the group.
Yeah, the party looks to Sprungus.
As you guys climb out, tiredly looking up at Sprungus, as Sprungus follows the little cook back to the tent. The cook kid thinking fully that you're just coming to get some food for your friends and help out.
Well,
as he kind of
He'll see me as out pulling out masterwork cooking tools from my bag.
Oh god. As you kind of head towards it. Yeah, good.
While breakfast is being made, I want to go around the small hand camp and make friends and try and turn these people who are helpful to me now into fanatics.
Alright, let's see what you got. He's got to try. As he, what are you saying to them out of
On
curiosity?
the wrong tab. I'm just reiterating my mission and how it should be their mission, which is to clear space for Daddy to rise into greater deityhood.
God damn it.
That is 53.
Just barely. You begin to hear an uproar amongst the group. They seem to start chanting the Great Forge, the Great Furnace, amongst them. As they do so, the captain kind of waking up and hearing this just sighs as Kazasi Jr. looks about and just goes back into his tent to go back to sleep. But as you lot one by one kind of wake up, Ned stays amongst his tent. Kez, as you kind of wake up, pulling your head up, you feel the gosling underneath you immediately kick away and honk at you as he climbs into the nest.
He's like,
As you kind of like sit up and look over where you're sitting, you do see a pile of what looks to be goose shit laying there. Although, as you feel the side of your head, it's not on your head, though some of your hair is slightly mushed.
Huh. Surprisingly, a restful and restless night. How odd.
You look at the gosling, just stares at you as he burrows into the nest, disappearing under the twigs. As you all step out into the camp, Sprungus coming back now with what looks to be a couple of pans full of red vegetables, and what looks to be some sort of blackened meat. As Sprungus kind of starts setting up his tools around the fire once more and cutting up and preparing the meat. Sprungus, for your own note, you are given what do they call it? Displacer hog meat that is supposedly brought over here from the troll lands. Though, at the mention of that and hearing that the trade being kind of slow in the last few days, and this also being a land route, that this meat's not going to be fresh, even by a quick smell of it. The blackened bits are what look to be a encasing of some sort of drying mechanism to keep it from basically going bad. The vegetables look to be a mix of spice leaf and some sort of a red vegetable. It's local to the frost giant, so they don't have a name for it. They just seem to put it on everything, as it seems to give a revitalization and makes you feel wakes you up and makes you feel like you're ready to go, almost like a coffee fix.
I'll trim the worst of it from this slightly old meat, and I'll mix it with some of the rock meat left from last time.
Okay.
Because it won't be as old, and I'll make the best of what.
In the background, for Ungus taking his morning line of whatever he can find.
Oh, this red vegetable.
Oh, okay. You're just start cutting.
Start
cutting.
Basically, it's cocaine.
I mean, basically, yeah. As you start cutting it up and start snorting in the juices of it, trying to get as much of it down as possible. Frungus, give me a fortitude save.
Word. Uno momento.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you roll net one, it'd be amazing, but
26.
26, easy success. You feel your energy just kind of picking up. You have a temporary 5-foot extra movement bonus for the until the end of the day.
I love drugs.
Don't do drugs, kids. Please do not just pick up random vegetables off the ground and start snorting.
Do
what
so many drugs.
Listening, but if there are kids listening, do drugs.
No, you're
I'll
not
be
cool.
the mediator.
All of the
Do
drugs.
only some
They're very
drugs,
cool.
but not other
Honestly,
drugs.
you don't want to be not cool, do you? Yeah, that's right.
If there are kids listening, you shouldn't be.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is a
This is not a
horrible
kid-friendly
lesson.
space.
Yep, right. Oh man, it's the fucking dream lily all over again. But no, as you go and again snorting up the chopped up bit of the vegetable, Sprungus beginning to work away at making some sort of dish between the two, tossing them into a pan to mix it up and trying to get as much of the meat's flavor for this old and displacer hog to come out and not, hopefully, it will become overpowering. The smell of very rough pork can be kind of picked up on the air. Both burnt, not only the smell of burnt pork, but also something about it as you smell it in the air just smells like illness. Many of the mercenaries amongst the expedition, some of the soldiers seem to be kind of looking at their servings and almost pushing away the meat on just eating the vegetables as they go about their business. The small hand happily watching with drooling mouths as they get bowls ready for Sprungus's meal.
I might have mid-ingredients, but enough cooking talent can make up for...
Yeah, give me a cooking roll for it. Which I think either profession or I'll take a craft, whichever works.
I think I have a craft. Let's see, what's my plus with that? I have a plus 10. Okay.
There's the craft cooking and profession cook.
Yeah, 23.
Is that profession or craft?
This is craft.
Okay. As you begin to put together a dish, mixing, kind of mincing the meats almost fully, you go about chopping and putting the vegetables together into it, basically making a large patty-like material. Taking some of the rations that the party has and taking the bits of hardtack from it and soaking it in the bits of grease and juices from the vegetable, allowing the bread to expand out and get a flavor to it, as well as cook a little bit. You manage to put together some decent burger patties that, all in all, they're not terrible, they're not fantastic, but you don't taste the rancid pork meat that, as you watch many of the others seem to be doing, as even the few pets and beasts of burden seem to avoid the meat when offered by the other mercenaries.
It'll really show how Sprungus feels when he apologizes for this not being his best work, even if his is edible and everyone else's is not. The other dishes are on.
It's about what you'd expect for an average tavern meal. Like, it's not bad by any means. Just there's nothing spectacular about this.
But when you craft something like this right after crafting like really delicious food the day before,
As
great on his talent.
As Sprungus goes about handing you each one of the burgers, kind of apologizing as he does so, the small hand seems to be completely taken aback by the shock of the food tasting as good as it does, and seem to cheer it on, even coming back for more.
Yeah, I give Sprungus a very polite thank you. So it's a miracle that it's just edible at this point.
As you look over at the other mercenary company, one guy who's chewing on it, and you can see he's like trying to tear, and it's like a rubber stretching a good couple of inches.
Sprungus will need assistance later hunting fresh ingredients, if this is what we'll have to work with.
Yeah, Dom's just eating it perfectly fine. He's definitely had like way worse, and is like, I've not really been hunting in a while, but if need be, I could help. I like to think I'm fairly quiet when needed.
I can help out. I can set some snares, so obviously aren't much for creeping around.
I have a question. Jackson, what does Utham's court eat like? I assume because that's how Dom has probably eaten most of their life.
That wouldn't be the case.
That's not.
Due to Dom's own background, they have not spent most of their life at court.
All right,
I would
okay.
say Dom told you guys they lived in the wilderness most of their lives.
Gotcha.
There was a long period. So like when Dom's completely content eating this.
And also for reference on court food, due to Utham being a newer kingdom, his nation is not prolific in food. The majority of his food, while it looks elegant, is made of simple ingredients such as root vegetables. You're looking at mostly meats of pork and wolf meat. Because that's what they had. While most courts in the mainland of Krikek eat quite well due to having full farmlands and like nations with high fertility rates for corrupt, Regan Utham's territory has not been one of those and has mostly been a meat-eating country. So if you want something equivalent to our own histories, think like far northern Russia, where they would eat a lot of deer meat specifically, and that was really it. And potatoes. That's basically what you're dealing with here.
Look, to be fair, elegant food is hard when you have to eat as much food as frost giants need.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Farmland's also harder when you live in a frosty mountain territory.
Yep, that too.
So
probably a lot of meats and fish.
Fish is another big one, and most of the fish that would come all the way up that mountain is going to come from salted and whale preserves. So you're looking at very
I can't
pickled.
imagine there's enough fish being caught for that, like in upstream stuff to actually do anything.
If anything, fish are probably the higher prize thing since there's just so limited.
And pickled herrings, while loved, is not anybody's favorite food. There are fish that are a rare delicacy, of course, that even you guys would know about, but there are flying fish that get up to the size of war galleons for ship size. But those are also taken down by whole pirate and raiding crews, typically. But back to the adventure. As you lot continue to kind of eat your breakfast, enjoying your morning, the expedition kind of begins to set itself up. You hear almost a call for a halt as a courtier comes running. You all see, as almost in the center of this expeditionary group, the individual running this courtier seems to be Hroton himself, still wearing his full battle armor, still looking and wearing his full weapon, all of his weapons on his back. He is followed shortly after as you watch a few running frost giants in black armor that look to be exhausted trying to keep up.
I feel like we'll be receiving the bad news for once.
Well, we'll have more to give.
Wait, what the fuck happened?
Kez laughs for a minute and then pauses and goes,
Yeah,
wait,
know,
something happened?
Like Dom and
Wait,
like,
hold on. What the fuck
like,
happened after I went to bed? Holy shit.
So the trees are evil, and the forest is haunted, and there's a
trees
giant
are full of
profane ritual.
corpses.
Well, I
There's
could
a
have told
magic
you that
circle.
when that the trees were evil.
Evil
Trees-
god happening in forest.
I mean, I thought when the trees were telling me to kill myself,
stuff-
but I kind of figured the trees were evil.
No, it's
Yeah,
a
the
giant
stuff that
soul-sucking ritual.
Oh!
yeah, the stuff that Jakix did that like drains everything of its power. That. But here. And tied to oat, because everything's tied to that motherfucker. And Dom takes like an
Look, I
angry
wanna-
bite of the rubbery meat.
Sprungus wants to see what this Hroten guy's yelling about.
Yeah. Yeah, Dom
I don't know
wants
this
to go
guy.
and see what's up with that too.
As
Nosy.
I'm sure it's nothing but good things.
I say Sprungus and
Yeah.
Frungus just start walking away. Well, Frungus, are you going with Sprungus to listen?
Kesnok just
he's
woke
on
up
mute.
and he's already.
How many people are in the small hand? besides the
35.
commanders?
34
me and
besides the commander.
35 Me and 34 people will go with Spungus.
Okay.
I have an armed guard.
Because as you kind of watch as those two kind of get up and walk away with your the mercenary company, and you're just kind of, when you went to bed, you had seen them go. I think you saw them bring the mercenaries over and everything.
Yeah, I was there. I intimidated the Black Hand into not coming over here.
Yes, that's exactly it. But as you hear them kind of go over what happened last night after you went to bed for a moment, it was only about 2 hours between the time of you remember falling asleep, roughly, and them and Eider curling up and managing to waken you as he tried to grab or pick up your head.
What could happen in that such a short period of time?
I don't know. Y'all tell me. Y'all went off and fought a dragon.
He's got a point.
I mean, that's fair.
Anyway, I think we're missing whatever the fuck is
Also-
important over there.
Just gets up and follows. Yeah.
Yeah, Dom's like finished his food and is heading over to see what's up.
Yeah, it's not like Eider's like sorry, just to clarify, it's not like Eider's like disinterested. It's just like very concerned about like why the fuck is Roten here?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you know,
With
the
the
left hand.
Blackguard?
Yeah.
With the Blackguard?
Yeah.
Or part of them? Yeah, that's bad.
Oh, it's perfectly fine. What do you mean?
This is our campaign.
You're not wrong. As you hear, or as you lot kind of begin to follow after, Kez, are you gonna follow after the rest of them, or are you gonna stay at the camp? Okay, making sure. Kind of now, point as you go in, Kez, before running off, kind of tapping on the wagon to get Ned awake and letting him know that you all are heading over to the up to the main tent. He kind of nods and goes back to sleep as you hear him snoring almost before you close the flap.
Yeah, I gotta see my buddy Roten.
Yeah. As all of you kind of make your way over towards Burr Woodwalker's tent, you lot all kind of heading in. You hear as Roten is yelling loudly at Burr, the two seemingly arguing about some military matter. As Roten, or as you hear or get close enough, hearing Roten say, "We need to move and now." And Burr is blurting out, "Not until the roads are finished." And the two continuously going back and forth as you get close to the tent. No seemingly change as you see about 4 black guards standing out front of the gate, or in front of the tent flap. 2 of Burr's own personal guards kind of standing other side of the tent flap as you approach.
You know, strangely enough, guys, I mean, I know we're like one of the groups here, but for some reason I feel like we probably shouldn't get involved. I don't know.
I was like, could Dom just kind of be in the vicinity to over here, but not like just walking on up? Not necessarily
dare.
hiding, more like just lingering nearby with the group while we're chatting, but like keenly listening to the conversation. And like if Hroten locks eyes and makes a gesture or something, Dom would go over. But for right now, he's just kind of like staying away because he doesn't trust Burr still.
Okay.
I think we should just try to see what we get from this I want to approach Houghton after, but I don't trust Burr still with what happened. I don't think we should barge in and kind of mumble that to the group.
Right. We do need to tell Utham about the ritual, though. That seems very much like something that
I'll let you do that, leader. Smile. I'll be here to support you, of course, but you understand magic more than me.
My hand rests on Ider's shoulder in a thing of, hey man, this is why I gave you this is why I didn't want to do it no more.
I just gotta look at you both reproachfully. It's like hundreds or thousands of people could die. I don't really give a shit if it makes Utham upset.
Nah, you know.
As you hear the yelling from inside, again, not quietly at all, kicks work for who coming from Houghton? You idiot, why did you not let us know sooner? As the shouting goes off further, the voice seems to almost quiet down, as you see for a moment the tent flap kind of opens. Houghton kind of looks outside, locks eyes with Dom almost immediately, and just closes the tent flap again, and then goes back inside, quietly whispering. I
will attempt to listen. I'll make a listen check.
Alright, everyone give me a listen check. Let's go.
I'm fucking eavesdropping. I'm not gonna just lock eyes after hearing that and then waltz away. Houghton should know that.
A listen check. I'm supposedly a +7 in those, so we'll see what happens.
Oh. I'm also a +7 in those. We've got good ears, my friend.
Don't worry, I have the highest plus possible. Yeah, there it is.
Sprungus, I mean, this doesn't matter to you as you kind of look over at the kit. You get an eye of the kitchen, can finally see them preparing the meat.
That'll be age 21.
As you look over, Ider kind of catches what you're looking at, and Ider seems to also just be in awe and shock at the way they're practicing and preparing this food. Just tossing it onto the ground into the dirt, mixing it about, tossing it back onto the table, throwing it about.
I'm distracted out of character by that. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I'll ask who of my fans are the best at listening, and send them to listen for me.
Okay. I will make a note of that. Okay. Alright. 19 from Dom. 19 from Frosties. Kez, are you listening
21.
in? 21. Alright. Kez is the only one who hears this. Kez, you hear the two continue on. I'm going to message you something really quickly while the rest of the party contemplates in quiet.
Yeah,
I'm also going to temporarily pause the recording so that I can write this out for a minute, so...
Oh, no.
The Worm series.
Yeah.
Alright.
Miss Militia.
There you go. We are back, Kez. There's what you hear.
I'm gonna read it first, and then I'll decide how I want to share the information.
Yep.
Come on.
As the rest of you kind of listen about, you do know that the guards kind of seem to be eyeing you. Most of them do have their hands on their weapons, kind of watching, including the 4 Blackguard, as they wait kind of patiently for the conversation to end. Kaz's ears kind of really focused in as he kind of seems to close his eyes and listen. Give him a second. He's still listening.
Yeah, right? It's like, shh, shh, shh. Alright. So actually, I'm gonna send this to, you, Lev.
All right.
And I will let you decide if you want to share this.
As Kez kind of leans over and whispers in your ear word for word what he's hearing. And Ider's shock is even bigger now. Eyes going wider.
Listen, because it relates directly to, well, him, kinda.
I have extra reason to know.
No! Listen, I had to let you know first, all right?
Oh no, come on, guys.
Because it's kind of related to you, buddy. I'm gonna let you decide.
Wait a minute,
no.
fuck you! Wait a minute, what?
Wait, it's related to Eider? What the fuck?
Man. This is some bullshit. Hang on, let me fucking go keep on using that thing. I need to drain more fucking divinity points from James.
That's just mean he didn't do anything. He doesn't yet.
I'm gonna fucking bleed this motherfucker dry of all of his goddamn
Please
divine
do
powers.
not cause an inter-party conflict. I will have to kill you.
Remember, this is being way back, so it's not too much of an issue for the current Saturday party.
Alright, Levinos, I'll leave it up to you to if you want to let the other that seems like it's an up to you kind of thing, dog.
As you take a minute to think, I'm gonna say, as you're kind of listening to this, you do see as Hroten kind of stomps out of the tent and throwing the flap open, looks over at you lot, and then looks back at Burr and goes, "I told you, pick someone and get them doing on the work. I want to know, and I want answers now." As he looks back at her, kind of glaring, and stomps off with his men.
We'll go.
Well, looks like we're in the perfect place to be chosen.
No, straight up like do yell out, "We'll go!"
You see as
Dom
Burr,
has-
the tent flap closes, and Burr... Oh, go ahead, Dom.
I was just like, Dom's just kind of glancing between Kez and Eider who've been whispering and all this shit. Like, what is going on?
Like, what the fuck's going on here?
The one small hand member kind of shrugging his shoulders as well as he sees this, not knowing what happened either. The Burr looking out as the tent flap closes, and she goes, "Eider, get your ass in here."
I was like, duck in.
Burr just kind of looks at you and goes, "All right, I've got a job for you,
Yep.
but we don't know what's in there. We don't know what's gonna happen, and you could end up dead. Before I tell you about this, I need you to you have to fully agree to all these things and be willing to not speak a word of it. You can't turn it down once you've agreed."
Just like lightly sweating. It's like, wait a minute, I already know all about it. Wait a minute, or most of it. I just kind of like nod. It's like, yeah, look, cards on the table. We've been eavesdropping because gave me a general rundown of what's been going on. So I have reason to believe it might be to do with my cousin. So, yeah, I accept.
He's your cousin, is he?
James is not Jakix.
You know, I think, yeah, why don't you, you are the perfect one for the mission I have. Why don't you go sit back up at your wagon. I'll send an envoy over with the information for where you to head off next. And she just kind of, like, nods to that and looks at the map.
Someone please sense motive. Or can I sense motive?
You
for where
can't
I'm at?
hear anything.
Well, we've never trusted.
I just like narrow my
Oh,
eyes
you're
and
his
say,
cousin, are you?
but you were already ready to tell me all of the details.
She nods and goes, "Yes, but as of right now, I need time to think, given what the information you've just given me. We need to see how we can approach this, if it could be of any other benefit."
I just like give her like a very weird side eye, and then I like go out and start sprinting towards Hroten.
Alright, as you turn her and start walking up calmly for a moment, as the tent flap closes behind you, as you look at your party, you start running after where you saw Hroten at earlier. The rest of you, Sprungus, Dom, and Kez, you see as Eider just closes the tent flap nicely in and starts jogging off towards where Hroten and his crew have set up camp.
Man, that's crazy.
Go with me.
I'm not gonna help with whatever it is.
It involves killing gods, probably.
You don't nominate a man for a mission when you don't even know what's going on.
To be fair, Sprungus, you two aren't officially part of our mercenary group. But Dom says it quote, so I don't think legally you're obligated to join. Plus, none of us have been given the details, so... And kind of stares hard at Eider and then at Kez.
Eider's jogging off after telling you guys to follow him.
Sprinting off.
I mean, hey, if he's gonna tell it, that's up to him. personal family information.
Does this personal family information involve my life being at risk? Because I feel like if so, I'm entitled to at least the bullet points.
Guess we'll find out. I have no idea.
Just come to the fucking conversation.
We're gonna go find out right now with Ader's conversation with Heroin. Let's go.
This Kez just starts to jog off after looking at the situation. Dom, are you following?
I think Dom kind of gives one last, like, turns to Frungus and Sprungus and is like, you two don't have to come with. This is clearly not something you're tied into, but I do want to help with taking down Oath and his men, so if nothing else, I would like to keep in contact somehow. We'll work out the details, and it's gonna, like, not at all in a rush, follow after the rest of the party, clearly kind of, like, frustrated with how this is going.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Dragging his feet a little.
Yeah, as you walk after with Kez jogging to catch up to Eider, who's going at a full run, Eider, after a little bit, you managed to get to the back end of the camp where the road is you can see the road workers actually setting down heavy stones, others coming in filling pebbles in between, and then kind of putting what looks to be this thick, like dust-like material across and pouring water on it. As they go about continuing doing this, you see a small tent set off to the side of some already completed chunks of the road, as Roten and his cohort have sent a tent big enough for the group of them to sit inside. You can see clearly their figures from the fire glowing inside and the smoke coming out of the sides of the tent as you kind of catch up to them. Opening up the tent flap, the heavy smoke goes billowing far above your head as Roten looks down at you. Being only a half-stone giant himself, he kind of looks at you and smile for a moment and goes, "You know, snowbeards always make my days better. Reminds me I'm not the shortest one in the world out here." As he looks at his, like, 4 very tall compatriots.
I just, like, flash it, like thinks about it. It's like, he's like, I have 8 things of bad news probably to break to this man. Later. What's
no time like the present.
What's going on with Jakix and my cousin?
Frungus chasing after. As you say this, he looks at you and goes, "Oh, you heard all that, huh?"
Yes, Kez was listening in and kind of give me a play-by-play. We tried to volunteer for the mission. I was a little excited, mentioned that I was James's cousin. I think Burr is now after the fucking reward. What is the mission? What's going on? We need to do something about this.
You know, most people aren't, so as he throws sticks a stick through a fish and, like, puts it up against the fire and looks over at you as you hear Frosty, goddammit. You hear Frungus and Kez kind of coming up behind you as they kind of step into the snow.
Yeah, like hold the tent open so they can get in easier.
Yeah. As the two of them kind of join with Frungus's little army kind of standing outside, just listening in around the entrance to the tent flap. He looks down at you, Roten looks down at you and goes, "Well, Regan Utham believes that there could be a chance that there's a tie between James and Jakix Morin. Given recent reports of him supposedly meeting with Jakix in secret in a formerly criminal syndicate affiliated abandoned house outside of the territory or outside of the main city of Diamond's Death, we believe there may be some issues between the two, some meetings that we don't know about. My belief is that this needs to be looked into more actively, and Reagan's putting work to, as he's planning to remove here soon the wanted poster for the man, as he just doesn't seem to be able to be tracked anywhere. I believe your brother, or cousin, rather, has not only a direct connection to dealings with him, but I think the whole story we've been told about the two groups not actually being affiliated may be a bunch of bogus. I think the two may be working in tandem, and my belief is that James himself is planning to bring about an end to a nation out of spiked, or at least that's what the reports are coming from his companion, a man we managed to liberate off of a slave ship named Zels.
Ida just like looks down pensively for a moment, says, "We need to focus on Jakix. We found a ritual that does the same thing that he did in was it Primperse's Last Hold?
With
Correct.
Titan.
Oh no, it's Nighton that
No.
it happened. Yep.
Nighton.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing that happened in Nighton."
He nods as he looks at you and goes, Regan is aware. He appreciates your service for that, by the way. He realized it moments before you lot must have managed to cause whatever chain reaction had gone off. The magic had started to increase recently. And I'm surprised, to be honest, that it was something to do with Oat. As he mentions that almost without any mention from you, and goes, but at this point, now that we've confirmed that Jakix and Oat are working amongst the same group, it makes us a little bit more wary that he might be on the same level as the demigod.
I just kind of nods and says, "So, what's the next step here?"
This Dom kind of comes walking up, pushing kind of through the small hand mercenaries to get to the front, as they kind of step aside slightly, pushing, kind of coming into the tent. Kind of looks up at Dom and smiles slightly at that and looks back down at Ida and goes, well, we have 2 missions right now. I need a group who's going to explore a tomb that we found further to the east, right outside of King's End. There's believed to be an item down there that specifically the Regan wants to have found. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the time nor certainly the patience to go down there himself with all the issues going on and the threat of war at his doorstep at any moment. He can't be found disposed of. Og himself is still on the march to get everything set up and organized. This tomb is believed to hold one of the items similar to Wolfsbane, as he kind of looks at you.
I just kind of nod, just like, connecting the dots as like I was figured. Like, what was that about Volthana being down there?
Valthana we spotted her with a scouting patrol, and according to Burr, she apparently told Burr that she was going to go there. You'd think that when you're told where your enemy and obviously a potential killer is going to go, you would report that up to your king. God forbid our chain of command actually be of any use to these people.
Dom huffs in agreement.
I just kind of like nod, like look at Dob, like shrug and agree. Like, I tried to tell her, but she's incompetent or ensorcelled. We saw Valthana directly charm her.
Yes, that was the other issue. We're also sending out, though, an airship to go with Bargeras and his group to investigate a group called the First King's Cult. We believe they're the main link and the lowest link of the chain, easiest to exploit at this point. But the problem is that those who are going are heading to the Closen territories. Not many are volunteering to, of course, go to such a rampant and dystopian territory.
Like, is the link between like Colosan and like the other planes enough of a common thing to know about, or is that just like secret lore?
As far as the fiends of House Closen, I mean, their information as far as what's published in the book is what is publicly known. They're also not from any of the outside planes. They're actually from the mortal plane, for reference.
Okay.
Yeah. As far as their own knowledge of planes and research, you'd have to go and kind of discover to see what their level is at for that. But they don't have any noted academia cities yet.
Gotcha. So like they're not like tieflings or like actual fiends where like they have an intrinsic link to Moors no matter what.
They are fiends. They do not have an intrinsic link to Moors. If they are killed on the mortal plane, they do die on the mortal plane.
Gotcha. They're just straight up native outsiders. Got it.
Yep.
Okay. I like turn to the rest of the group and shrug and say, "Sorry, I got a little heated into the collar there. I think you've heard the missions being offered at the very least. My fucking cousin is a moron and appears to be consorting with Jakix. I kind of say this for Dom's benefit. Is remember them walking in at the very
Yeah,
end.
Dom's
Yeah.
arms crossed, has just been sitting there very silently and brutally this whole time, just kind of listening as you explain.
Trying to piece together the information.
Yeah, literally me trying to looking at my notes as I write them. Okay, what's the story here?
All right. You know what? Now, I feel like there. Here you go for everyone to see in the Sunday campaign. I'll let you know now.
So, what was your stance again on potentially dealing with your own kinsman? Because I hold no goodwill to those working with Jakix or Oat.
Well, you better have a damn good reason. Even if he doesn't have a good reason, I'm gonna shove a fist so far up his ass, I'm gonna use him as a sock puppet.
Well, I don't suppose we have much of a choice on this mission, right? There's too much at stake to simply leave it in the hands of someone like Burr. And his eyes kind of roll as he says that, and he shares a look with Roten, I'm worried about Valthana, given our last encounter with her implies she's potentially not even mortal, but I don't think we're worming our way out of this one, huh?
So, yeah, I favor going towards the tomb. We have I don't like Valthana walking around unchecked, but I can see us also being instrumental with Bardrus. So, thoughts, votes for anyone?
What's the deal with Bardrus?
Croton and his crew kind of look at you a lot, who are still letting the heat out of his tent, as he's already explained the two things, and takes a bite out of his fish that he picks up off the ground.
Is he still on our side? He's not yet to bring back the airship, or is there yet another person who's double crossing us?
No, he's just part of the mission. We're going on the mission with Bardrus, if that was the choice.
Also, right.
Close the tent.
I haven't had time to read the notes because I've been left out of things and roleplay happening. So you'll have to forgive me if Dom and I are a little bit behind on things.
Close the tent, Dom.
God, Dom, keep up.
Dom's just frantically reading through a book, oh, fuck. The tomb has an item that's similar to this wolfsbane, yes? It's important. Utham Reagan wouldn't be so antsy to get it if it wasn't important. I don't think we should let her get it out of anyone, so I think we need a better plan than just running in there, but I agree it's probably the highest priority.
Kind of shrug, look to Kez.
What you looking at me for?
Getting your input.
I don't give a shit. Let's go rock and roll.
I look at you for a moment. All right. Well,
I just, listen, man. I'm pretty sure I just killed my god's champion. Kind of got no idea what's going on. Let's just get some shit done, and hopefully I'll figure it out along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's go.
Right, fuck yeah! Let's rock and roll!
All right, where's this fucking tomb?
He looks at you and goes, about 2.5 months, 3 months roughly, march from here.
I just starts swearing under his breath.
Is it along the way, or do we have to go the opposite direction of the?
No, it's going to. I mean, it'd be He looks at you, it'd be faster if you didn't follow the expedition's route. But if you want to stick with them, you can. Technically, they're going to King's End. You'll pass within about 2-3 days march of the last known location of what we believe to be the entrance.
Got it.
All right, there you head back up to the city and take one of the Woodwalker's ships.
What? Are we even able to hop out of the expedition?
We did sign paperwork.
We are kind of doing a mission directly for the Regan.
Mm-hmm. Herd kind of looks at you and just goes, I mean, you won't be paid as if you finish the expedition, of course, because you wouldn't be in this case. But as far as being walking away from the expedition, I don't think the Regan's going to care if you're taking one of the missions he's asked another squad to take on. I mean, he asked any of the mercenaries to take this on.
I think it might be best we at least get to civilization so we could perhaps buy and obtain items that would help us with a tomb. But wouldn't want to stick with the expedition too long. It's a safety risk, and the longer we take to get to the tomb, the more likely Valthana gets the item.
Well, I don't want that to happen, and I definitely think this tomb is of a higher priority. So I think we should rock and roll. We should do it. And hey, if things go well, we might be able to make it back to the expedition before it lands, and so we can help them out in the last stretch. Who knows?
That's assuming the people here haven't killed each other or died to more mysterious flying birds.
What's with all the pessimism, Dom? They're gonna make it.
I mean, we're not gods. We can't legitimately take care of everything at once. Like,
what do you mean you can?
I'm only one guy, all right?
Well, shit, you could have fooled me. Yeah, let's my little bit. I think we should go to this whatever tomb, see what we can do.
How about we just saddle up, go ahead of the expedition. Just honestly go get the supplies, like Dom says, and then just go to the tomb itself.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's no way we can just show up to Valthana with what we have now. Last time we did that, I almost attacked Kez. There was something about a violin, and then me and Aether almost died to a game of guess what's in this murderer's bag. And he kind of makes like a gesture. So yes, I'd like to maybe get a proper plan and gear. Whether we travel with the expedition or move ahead to get there, civilization would be nice.
So, do we want to skip Knighton and hightail it to what's the city called? Kingston?
Kingstown?
King's End.
Okay.
Hightail it to King's End. Make a plan, get some stuff there, and then, head out.
We do have a cart we could take, but I also wonder what wish we'd be traveling alone. It would have been nice to have Sprungus and Fungus travel with us still for this and potentially take on members of Vote who might be on the way, but he kind of looks at Eider. They have their reservations, it seems, so it doesn't seem likely there'll be anyone but us.
Well, there's nothing saying that after we found out we can ask them. Because it seems the only reservation was signing someone else up for a mission without asking them.
You would have to ask Sprungus. I don't know what he's like with holding grudges. He kind of shrugs.
Well, we could just ask. The worst they can say is no, right?
That's true.
I do turn to Frungus, who has just been here the whole time.
Just listening in at the inside the tent flap while his men stand outside listening and watching.
Don noticed Sprungus out there because he approached later. He's still just saying this. It's not like he's talking bad. It's like Sprungus was upset. I was pointing out Sprungus is upset. Not saying he's in the wrong for it. Not saying he's in the right for it. Just here.
Do you and your brother have any input in this? We can go barbaric if you want.
He's giving you the silent treatment. He's so angry.
Frungus says he is here to kill gods or glorify Daddy. If that includes this quest, I'm in.
Well, it sounds like there's not only one cult, but two cults involved, and whatever the fuck Jakix has going on with his mortality status, so probably.
Yeah, Jakix is outright a follower of Oat. I have no idea what the fuck Balthana follows, but she radiates powerful evil.
I should warn you, I don't think we'll run into him, but last I saw Jakix in person, he had a very dangerous, priority, I suppose, member of Oat's cult with him, and if we run into him, we're likely to run into her, which will be troublesome. So, if you and your brother are interested in fighting Oat and potentially killing a high-ranking member, there's a chance we'll run into her. I'll kind of look at Frungus, see if is he on board?
Sprungus says, and Crowell, let's go, Sprungo, oh boy, as he looks around, not realizing Sprungus is not with him.
Yeah, Sprungus has been
kind of like looks about, says, we're gonna kill some gods, as he looks about, seeing him in the kind of opening the flap and seeing him in the distance.
He's right outside the tent, Frungus.
Sprungus kind of, I imagine, just goes off to tell Sprungus over at your guys' wagon, seeing him in the distance, for his, as he puts it, very tall self. Okay. As you hear Frungus go walking off in the distance to go tell Sprungus the good news, his soldiers kind of following after. Roten kind of looks at you a lot and just goes, I'm just curious. If you all knew that Balthana was a danger, if you don't mind my asking, why are you wanting to go and fight her when she could potentially have an item that could be way more dangerous or powerful?
Because
a big fucking hole in her chest last time we met.
If Aiter and us can't deal with her, and Reagan Utham himself and his best men cannot go, I have zero faith that anyone else, and he gestures towards the camp, is going to either A, want to deal with this, or B, can handle this. And I would very much like the item to not be with Oat or whoever the fuck else has decided to be a pain in our ass this entire quest.
Roten kind of smiles at that as he nods along and goes, revenge is the best kind of quest. The Regan has agreed that he'll pay top gold for your completion of this quest. Bring back the item, kill everything in the tomb, including anyone that's not a frost giant that has the Regan's personal seal, or one of Ogg's men, which there shouldn't be any there for reference. And clear it out. That's what the Regan's looking for. He did mention something along the lines that there were creatures wrapped in something that were walking about using powerful magics, but not much else was given to me, nor was much else given to the Regan accordingly.
Got it. And again, the tomb is past King's End?
It'll be about 3 days past when you'd normally head to the when you normally turn northwards. As he kind of points toward, kind of pulling out a map, similar to the one you have, the expedition map, and shows you basically a point where, similar to where the expedition circled, instead of kind of curving up to the north, you just continue straight to the east.
Oh, got it. So slightly past where Knighton is.
No, past King's End and such.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
There's not a part that hooks north.
Slightly. As you see, the river starts to hook upwards. The pathway they're taking is following along the river line.
Got it.
Yep, you're just going to continue straight and go east.
Gotcha. Quick, just question for our friend Croton. I know that Knighton is supposed to be a druid city.
He nods.
What's available in King's End? Just if we're gonna pick one city or the other to try and prepare for and shop in, then
By the time you get there, probably a lot more than there is right now. The city's in ruins last Regan told me anything about it. It was taken, some resistance was given. A few wizards and cultists thought they'd put up a fight. Didn't last very long as he kind of takes a bite out of some fish, looks at you and continues and goes, They some of the town, our shops got turned to rubble. Some of the buildings got destroyed. A little bit of damage here and there. Also, the fat dragon, as he escaped, made a big plowing hole through the city. Beyond that, the city's quite well equipped. It was a previous capital and was a major trade port for the entirety of this continent. Most of the goods that were coming to Persia's last hold from the east were coming through King's End. Knighton is a druid town, but it is a smaller town. It's bustling now, and now it's got an airship port, but even then, most of its specialization is in, boars, wolves, sheep, and hydra.
Do you think they might have any amber?
Potentially. It's a good chance if they're going to. I don't really know much about the material myself, but if it comes from trees, they'll have it. They don't. If it doesn't, then I'd guess you'd probably find it more in King's End.
Just kind of nod. It's supposed to come from trees, but we'll see. Might stop there. At the very least, it's a good place to get some supplies. Sounds like our best chance are to try and get to King's End. But you lot have any way in on that one? Or?
Try and convince Barges back at Velcomen before he takes off to give you a ride. He's got his own airship and everything they borrowed from some adventuring group.
I just start cursing.
Yeah, us.
Croton looks up at you and goes, Oh, good news. He's heading all the way to the Cracklands continent. So, if you're wanting to catch a ride, now's your chance. That's going to be at least a year, maybe 2 years journey minimum.
How far away are we from Percy's last hold?
No, not for that. For him going to the House Closen's territory is what he's referring to. But for your own reference, you are 5 or 6 days in total if you count the climb up the mountain.
Gotcha. So okay, that sounds like that's a much shorter trip to go grab him, try and use him to use our own damn airship for a minute or two.
Prior to him taking off for 2 years, yeah.
Yeah.
That's just 2 years if he just goes there and back for reference.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, he said, if anything, he'd meet us at the end of the expedition.
He said he'd meet us after the end of the expedition. He was not entirely specific as to when.
Maybe a little bit, a couple more specifics should have been said, but
I mean, yeah, if you want to go by 5 days by wagon, or by cart, you guys should be able to get there, and then an extra day to get up the side of the mountain. Now that's assuming Sprungus isn't basically picking you guys up and pulling you up.
Yeah, that sounds like that would be the fastest way. Plus, going through, I mean, it's a lot safer for us to go back than it is to just go forward the entire way to King's End.
I will say the roads are paved going back, so there's a route all the way back to Velcomen. That also has light fixtures, with the spell lights that go off at certain specific times of the day. So you actually will have sight the entire 24 hours. Gotcha. And it cleared about 40-foot radius, or diameter.
Yeah, but weren't we also told not to come back?
Yes.
Yeah.
You were.
So how you gonna sneak in? Shoot a flare? Tell Hroton to go deliver a message? Send a courier?
I just asked Hroton to fucking go tell Bargers to meet us outside of the town.
Yep, so I guess we're gonna go to Knighton and wait for him to pick us up.
Mm-hmm.
You're Knighton? Okay.
How far away is Knighton anyway?
Knighton will be another about, let's see, let me do my calculations here real quick. I'll give you the exact.
From what I recall.
I know you showed us the map.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about it, because that's the town with all the druids and stuff, right?
Yep.
Because this road has to go through Knighton.
Yeah, give me a second. We're on day 5 of 7, so that would be 24 days at the current pace your expedition is going.
So less than a month to get to Knighton. We could just stick with the expedition to get to Knighton to get picked up to go to the King's City, King's End. My bad.
I mean, we'd still make it faster than we would make it on foot. Granted, it would just be straight up faster to like have Hroton send a courier just backtrack to outside of Hrimpurser's last hold and just wait for Bargers to pick us up, like just outside of the city.
Say 23 days might be more than enough time for her to get the item. Just thinking out of character, or for things to get worse. Like we might show up and it might not be there, and we might.
Well, it's gonna take so long to get there, anyways.
Yeah. Unless Sprungus can fly there faster.
He's only got 180 feet, and he sure as fuck can't lift all of us.
No. Do you think he could lift the lucky cart? And because the cart's so lucky, it won't weigh anything.
That's not how luck works.
Hey, it's troll magic. We don't know. It didn't get destroyed when it was dropped.
We don't know what
Maybe
Sen
he
was
could
thinking.
just throw us really far.
Never asked.
That's fair.
I miss him. I miss our buddy.
Too bad Sen's dead, right, guys?
I choose to believe he's not dead, damn it.
No, he's
Yeah,
definitely alive.
He's
We would know
totally
if he
dead.
died.
He's not in a different country running away from an army.
Dom saw him vanish and knows magic was afoot, so he believes he's out there. He doesn't know where, but he's out there. He didn't see a corpse.
Yep. So we can. It sounds like our choices are kind of like either beeline it to Knighton, go with like have what the fuck's his name? Bargis meet us in Knighton, which I don't think is entirely likely for him to wait like a full like month basically in the town.
Mm-hmm.
Backtrack to try and get Bargers to like just pick us up right outside of the city, so we're not violating the letter of the edict, or just kind of push through on our own into like King
Only
Knighton.
issue, my concern out of character is: do we think? Because I forget how our last conversation was word for word. Do we think he'd fully be willing to pick us up? Because if we backtrack to meet him and he doesn't agree, like actually commit to picking us up, then we've backtracked and made even less progress.
I mean, worst case, when Persilas hold refuse, you get a Woodwalker ship. You somehow send in like Sprungus or Sprungus to convince somebody.
Yep.
That's true. Hey, Dad, can you give us a boat?
We need one of them sky boats.
Dad, we're doing this important quest for you. You know how it is. Can I have a boat? I know it's not my birthday, but it's just like early for Christmas this year.
Oh, man. Alright, so what's the plan between the two?
My vote's just going to backtrack because it seems like the simple, most direct route to get what we want to get done, and the least liable to end up with us being sidetracked by bullshit.
Oh wow, it's only a week to get from I can't say that name.
Hrimpursers?
Hrimpursers, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Hrimpursar. Alright.
It's Nordic.
Hrimpurses.
No.
So grand turnaround of 11.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think I definitely think it does seem that time is against us, and whatever can take us there the quickest is probably the best.
Agreed. Quickest route, and to be honest, heading back, we're more likely to find people who would be willing to help us than people in Knighton who don't know us.
Mm-hmm. Even if it's us, even if Bargis isn't there, hopefully we can charter a ride.
There'll be more options in a bigger city.
Hroton just kind of looks down at you and nods and goes, "Alright, I can pass on your message. I'm heading back in the morning." And as he looks over,
got you running around all over, huh?
And as he looks outside and goes, "Oh shit, it's morning." Oh, as he stands up, cracking his back. As men seem to kind of give a groan and get like light laugh to that, like they've heard that joke many a times. As he stands up and cracks his back in the background.
I'll hit him with like a lesser restoration.
Alright.
Oh, hell yeah.
As you do, you hear or a bunch of more popping go, and he just goes, "Oh shit! Didn't expect that. Oh, that feels really good." As he sits back down and goes, "Oh, I can't get up now." Men,
You've killed him.
you will carry me.
Well,
As he looks up at
try
them.
to help.
The guards just kind of look over at Kez with irritation on their faces as they walk over to help their captain up.
Guys, I'm gonna get assassinated. This is
Okay.
it. This is it for me.
I kind of like shuffle my feet and say, by the way, about Wolfsbane, did you have time to do the thing that we talked about doing on it? Because it seems like it might be useful to have around.
He kind of like stands up and looks at you and goes, "Remind me."
The sizing.
Oh, I do apologize. The Regan still got Wolfsbane within his personal chambers. He's still researching the item, from my understanding.
I just like snaps his like fingers, like damn.
Might
He's been
have it ready when we
collecting
get there.
books like no other. He put in 2 orders from the collective to bring him anything on. Oh, something about fiends. I don't know. He said he needed something on demons. I know about as much about demons as the guy as you probably know about cows.
I just starts into a fucking diatribe about facts about cows.
Less than you know about cows,
can eat
apparently.
them. You're not scared from them.
I
If you're in the cold, you could cut one open and probably fit inside a larger one to stay warm.
Dom, no. No. Dom, you are the
kinda, like,
size of a
bit-
cow. Like
I
height.
said a larger one. I explicitly said a larger one. I'm fairly small as far as, frost giants go. I could make it work.
I've only heard about one giant blue bull running around, and that's a myth.
I've been learning a lot of things aren't myths lately.
Alright, well,
The
when
Great
you,
Sir Bunyan.
when you see a
Johnny-
large
Johnny
Goliath
Paul
or
Henry.
a storm giant with a big axe going around cutting down trees, you come let me know.
Johnny Paul Henry in the distance.
Not born yet.
I
Good old Sir Bunyan.
certainly will. Certainly will.
He laughs at that and goes, but as far as it goes, yeah, we'll deliver your letter, and as soon as I hear something from the Regan, I'll let you know. He's put out a call and a request for more of these items. He thinks that the secret might be in finding another one to see what they have in similar commonality.
I think Volcana might already be in possession of a similar item. It's hard to say. It
Violin
exerted
would be weird.
control.
Nods and goes, well, the only thing that we're sure about is that we know nothing of these items besides the fact that apparently, according to the Regan, and the few little bits of information he's told me, they may have something trapped within them that's quite powerful and very dangerous in their own hands.
Mm.
Kind of nods and says, "This one was a fiddle for. If you want to relay that to the Regan."
He nods and goes, strange. I
You
get
can-
well. Regan can cross that out that they are all weapons. I'll let him know.
If you grab it from her, she can somehow teleport it with her when she disappears. So I don't recommend just grabbing it unless you can hold on to it.
Tom, we're the ones going to fight her.
He might run into her. For all we know, she's got the clones of herself all around. She's does illusions and bullshit. She might not be actually even be at the tome. That could be a fake Velkana.
She might be me,
I
Dom.
think I trust. Dom got a stare.
Just stops dead mid-sentence. Dom just looks at
Him.
you.
like just kind of like shake my head. It's like, look, after a certain point, you have to understand that you can't. You have to trust something, or you're gonna go fucking insane.
Roten nods and holds up his hammer and as he gives it a light kiss and goes, I trust anything I can hit with this thing.
Yeah, I trust. Let's see. Houghton, you, Kez, Ned, Strongus, Uth. I trust like 10 or less people. That's it. And my fist. So like 12 things. Is that good enough?
Just kind of like nod.
Great. Best of luck, Roden. Hopefully we'll meet in better terms, but I don't remain optimistic.
Oh, you
Don't
know what'd be
die,
great
yeah.
is since you're taking a wagon, what'd be funny is if you beat me there as he starts walking, or starts getting out, walking out of the tent and begins to
We
like
do.
pull the
I'll have a
pikes.
drink ready for you. I'll try.
He just kind of nods at that as he pulls down the tent and tosses it onto his bag. And kind of, as the rest of his group has sack up and get ready to go, they start walking off.
I like turn to like the group after like they leave and say, I really am sorry. I flew off the handle there. I volunteered us for a mission without thinking through it. I just it spoke to me in the moment. I'll do better next time.
Well, it's not the worst thing to happen to us. I'd rather we make our own dumbass choices that get us killed than people make dumbass choices that somehow get us killed.
James.
Was that in character? Please
Yes.
tell me that was in character.
Obviously, yes.
Yeah. No. Hunter's very upset with his cousin right now.
I do
swear,
wish to be-
I feel like the relationship between Eider and James is gonna end up being that of like Jacob and like the white whale.
You know, you guys might be hunting each other by the end of the campaign. Who knows?
Yes.
But as you,
Saturday.
as you lot kind of turn and head, start walking towards camp, kind of talking amongst yourselves about this. You do see Frungus and Sprungus kind of packing up the camp alongside the small hands who are also grabbing up their stuff and putting it away and getting it like all ready. Your wagon is already prepared with Ned kind of sitting in the back, kind of just kind of yawning every once in a while and waving to you lot.
All right. Well, did y'all coming with us? Free to. Obviously, you're not obligated to. We'd appreciate the company, but
Kezalsi Jr. kind of looks at you for a moment and goes, "Well, I can either stay here and deal with my crazy uncle, or I can follow you and not watch half or all of my men follow off to after Frungus, hoping that he will show them more of it than just his thigh."
full disclosure, I don't think our airship is big enough for everybody.
Oh, that's fine. I'll just steal my uncle's and it's parked back in back home.
Oh, that would be.
I just kind of shrug and say, "All right, fuck that guy."
Listen, he already wants you dead, Eiter. There's not much more we could do to make him hate you more.
Well, it's also like a rite of passage for the Mavasi clan.
That too.
He nods and goes, "I mean, the Black Hand hates your entire family, so it works out for the both of us," as he nods and goes, my men are going to follow Frungus regardless, so I will continue to tag along as acting captain until eventually they decide to follow him off of a short pole and watch as they all drown and he laughs. But till that happens, as he kind of looks about you lot, a little slight annoyance in his voice as he looks at his men who are all like, they're going about their work, but they keep running into each other as they're all trying to get like looks at Frungus.
I do sympathize. This isn't our doing, but you can understand there's not much we can do to stop this. It just keeps happening. I think it might have happened to one of our own, to be honest. And I glance over at the direction of where Ned is at the cart.
He is back to like snoring with his head hanging out the back of the wagon.
A good soldier. But more hands on deck, the better. I mean, assuming we survive, it's a lot of. Sounds like a high reward.
Kezalsi kind of nods and goes, I mean, tombs, money, all that, sounds well worth it to me. Plus, that First King's cult thing, I've heard some rumors about them. A big necromancer cult. You know, I spotted a few of them in Dragon's Crown amongst the Diamond's Court Diamond's Death when I was there. I'm kind of starting to put two and two together that we might have an infestation of cultists.
There seems to be several different cults, all interconnected, working together, and invading every known town we go to. So, yes, I'm in agreement.
You don't think they're like multiple pillars of the cult or something like that?
Probably. Or they're all after some similar or same goal and they're working together until one of them succeeds and backstabs the rest. You know how it tends to go with those things.
He nods and goes, well, if I was a betting man, I'd say that whatever this First King's cult probably is stored, they've probably got a book on it in the House of Closen's Royal Library in their capital. The king is a known bookworm and magic user, so he knows anything and everything. Problem is, that city's locked up tighter than a princess's thighs.
I assume that's... Yes.
Dumb!
Used by the analogy and then decides to not delve into that. You see his eyes kind of glance at Kez briefly, remembering the thing with Zilfib, and then he like catches himself.
Nah.
Yeah, Kez's thighs would indeed be fucking locked closed.
Yep.
Because Aussie Jr. kind of continues and goes, but if we steal an airship back in Velkomen, I mean, it's not a war galley, but she'll hold about 200 men. She's more of a supply tanker, as what my uncle calls her. She's got a fat belly that'll burst with loot, but she can't hold her own for shit. She flies about as fast as, well, you ever seen one of them, those fat flying hogs that the trolls love so much?
I think I've heard, but I've not seen.
Now, they don't move very quick, about similar to that. She's very much a luxury cruiser, if you will, rather than a battle boat. We even almost got shot out of the sky by this one ship in the water. Angry fellow was driving it, shouting up at us, and had some weird cat on his shoulder that was like making him even louder. Damn near shot us out of the sky when we were near him.
Oh.
Is that the legend of Little Bib?
Oh.
It is not.
It's...
Nope, that is a call to Hunter's other character.
I hope it's not airship pirates. That's the last thing we need to deal on top of everything. And Dom kind of looks at Eider.
Look, we're gonna have to do something eventually. Worrying about it's only gonna make it suck worse.
Because Aussie Jr. looks up at you and goes, "You could always just go get a letter of marque from the from King Regan Feltharn. Although, given nothing personal that I know about you, but a few rumors I've heard," as he looks at Dom and goes, "I don't imagine you're going to support a rival Regan anytime soon."
I mean, if it's an ally of Utham's...
Not by a long shot. Those two hate each other.
If it helps us obtain what we need for Regan Utham, I am not opposed to play nice, but to genuinely swear my loyalty to a rival Regan... funny.
He nods. As Kezelsi Jr. continues and goes, "Well, if you're not looking to do that, you're gonna have to deal with raiders one day. My guess is you lot will probably be sooner than later." As he looks at Keznanok kind of up and down and goes, "Given the interest they may find in someone that looks at Kez and goes." As he sees, can feel Kez's annoyance arising at the mention, and goes, kinder features, as he picks his words carefully.
I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
I'm just like busy myself getting in the fucking wagon.
Well,
Yep.
as the guy takes the hint at that and nods and goes back to his own crew at that comment and not seeing anything happen, and kind of goes about getting his troops ready, as slow as they are. Sprungus and Frungus, are you just well, rather, I know Frungus is riding on Sprungus, but Sprungus, are you just going to be walking along the group?
For now.
Okay. All right. As you lot load up your wagons and start heading back towards the city, there's not much time for downtime as you lot are kind of on the road, keeping going the entire time. Kind of only giving you time to think most of it as you continue your focus on trying to get there as fast and or as quick as possible. As you lot manage to finally get, and now also I wanted to confirm something. Are you going to Rimperser's Last Hold or Velkomen? Velkomen was the city that you had left, and where you had parked your airship. Rimperser's Last Hold is locked off from outsiders, so that's why I wanted to verify.
I assume Velkomen. That's the only place we can.
Yes.
Go ahead and play for barters.
Yeah, I figured that's what you meant. I was just making sure I understood you correctly.
I also caught the Rimperser's Last Hold, but I figured it was just a slip of the tongue. Yeah.
No.
I don't see why we go there.
Nah, I just fucked that up.
Okay, making sure I understood right. All right, perfect. As you lot kind of spend the next 5 days heading straight there, on the morning of the 6th, you see as above, or almost at the very top, you see the airship, or your airship beginning to kind of fly out and starting to lower towards the ground. As it does so, you see the very clear signs of one Bardris as he comes landing about 30 feet off to your left, him kind of popping over the top and smiling down at you lot and goes, "Oh, well, I guess I was right to not leave. I figured because Kez had sneezed that morning this would happen." As he kind of starts to climb down the little rope ladder out to the side. As he gets to the ground and kind of walks over to you lot, Kez Aussie Jr. continues with his crew over towards what you see as a pulley system now to pull wagons up the side of the massive steep hill, and as his crew begins to pull themselves and get heading up. Bardris kind of steps over to you lot as he looks at the Kez Aussie Jr. and the small hand kind of heading up the side of the mountain. He goes, "They going to go steal the ship?"
Yep, they're going to go steal the ship.
35 or 36 members?
Do like a quick thing on my head, and it's like 35.
Oh, they'll succeed. Alright. Then he looks back at you and goes, "I assume that we're heading off to the tomb."
Right. Taking a pit stop at Night's End, and then...
King's End?
Or King's End, damn it.
He nods and goes, "These cities change names all the time. Trust me, it's going to get even worse when you become immortal."
What the hell?
I only warn you, as far as it goes, you should know, what you're looking for is there. The last item of the set of 10. But when you go to collect this item, there's no going back. That starts the finals test, the final story.
Final for who?
As you see him pulling out a little book that to the rest of you is blank as he's kind of flipping through pages.
I concernedly pat myself down and look for the book.
The book is not on you, as you notice.
Neat.
He looks at you again and goes, "Final story? Oh, well, everyone."
It's the end of the world?
No, well, yes, potentially. Always a potential. Oh, Kez, did you sneeze this morning?
Fuck, I don't keep track of my sneezes.
20% chance the world might end today.
So should we make sure that Kez sneezes more or less?
It's just
it
it's
might
just
depend on the day.
it's a key factor to certain days, certain conclusions. Have you ever heard of this thing called the time effect? It's where, in a sense, you have a gnome that causes a tiger to jump in the past that now makes you to be born with two different colored eyes. It was sponsored by a very genius individual of the house of... Oh, well, it doesn't matter to you right now.
Right.
But anyways, as he kind of flips through the pages again and goes, "We're heading there to attack Valthona, which means that the wind should be favorable. We should get there before she can push through the main gate, but there's a chance you could be ambushed. Are you sure?" The king's
Well, not ambushed if we know.
the king's cult. Oh, well, even me telling you won't change what happens. The king's cult will be a better option for your livelihood. The tomb has my understanding, about 50-50 odds for your chance of living according to what this states. The cult has much longer odds, though we will be traveling for a much longer period, so that's probably why.
What might increase our odds from 50-50 to something higher? Since you know.
Kez could go and sleep with Zilpip, or as much as find a demon to make a pact with. Anything could change the future.
Sorry, guys, none of those things are gonna happen.
I don't know.
As Kez just stares at a blank, like a dead stare.
Like, take a moment, look Bardish up and down and say, does that factor in me completing any of my plans?
None of your plans will be complete.
Oh, damn.
It's like, damn.
The dragon's still near. The wyvern still plans. She still hunts. She's coming.
I figured. We have like 5 different large-scale enemies after us at all times.
He looks at Sprungus, and Sprungus and Frungus, you can sense a lot of divine power. I mean, Durali levels, like beyond god levels of divine magic coming off this individual. It's not coming from him, it is coming off of him, though, I will specify. Meaning that there is an item or something on him that's giving this power, from your understanding. Yes, he looks over at Sprungus and Frungus for a moment, finally acknowledging their presence, and goes, "Oh, well, the Great Furnace doesn't die in this timeline. Interesting. Good to know."
What?
Oh, normally there's only one of you born, and honestly, a merger of the two of you is not a great combination. He gets basically all the faults of the small one and all the weaknesses of the large one, and basically you've created a very weak version. Normally, though, that does mean that the chamber is still locked. Good to know, which means we should have better odds. I give us an 80% chance of surviving the tomb, that means.
Hooray! Yay?
Oh, but because you said hooray, it goes back to...
Oh, fuck you guys.
My recommendation amongst all of you is be prepared. Think through and do your as much work and research as you can. I've gathered a collection of books from the Regan that he said he was throwing out for, well, donating to the collective. I'm borrowing them prior to sending them there. That might be of interest to the lot of you. All copies in secondhand of his own writings, but still valuable to anyone who's got an interest. Also, don't, Domnander, please do not tell your adopted father that I took his books. I don't want to be flayed alive again. Well, it hasn't happened yet. Well, it might have happened. I don't remember.
Well, you're not flayed, are you?
It is so funny you bring that up, because I was going to do the flay skin thing this month for Utham. And it is so hilarious that he brought it up.
Good boy.
And he looks over at you and goes for a moment and says, yes, normally I'm used as a grafting research hub. He likes to use my heart to see if he can turn time or change time and events with it.
Oh, sounds horrible.
Oh, for me it was. Luckily those timelines haven't come to be. Domnander managed to survive the snake trials. Oh, as he kind of puts his mouth to his hand to his mouth and goes, I do apologize, you haven't told them yet, have you?
No one's really asked. I've seen no reason to.
The fuck's a snake trial?
I don't think they're going to get what you reference with something as ominous as snake trials. And he does like air quotes. But I appreciate you being cautious. It would, do well in me.
Everyone else is, at least me and are like,
huh? He continues and goes,
you guys are staring at Dom now.
If you tell them now, Dom, I unfortunately must tell you that they will probably both die within the next 10 days, given the expectation.
And if I don't tell them, are they also going to die in the same amount of time? Because that's the vibe I'm getting.
There's always a guarantee of death when stupidity is at hand, but I recommend that I give them at least a 90% odds without knowing this information.
Cool. I didn't plan to bring it up.
Well, hey, if you really hate us and you want to kill us, well...
I guess we won't bring it up either.
I like you two alive.
I'd like to begin poking the little divine man. He is up to, like, the mid-calf on you, I believe.
I know.
As you kind of lightly tap him with your big toe, he just kind of looks up at you and goes, "Yes, Holy One?"
Why so divine?
Oh, so in a far future, a time when you're surprising your papa is still alive and still thriving quite well, protected by his ancient divine laws, although that hasn't happened yet, and may not happen still. There was a hole in the ground. I found a important piece of information, and they took my head. And in exchange, I became able to travel through and see the many timelines of the world. Although, unfortunately, I can never tell what's actually going to happen. It's always odds, and it's mostly focused into this book I have that allows me to move about. Not a god, but what was a god. It basically absorbed the power of one. Well, you wouldn't know his name now because he can't exist in this time period. Though if you do run into him, I guess that might be of help. And he goes on to a long monologue about if he should tell you or if he shouldn't, carrying out the odds in his head and speaking out to whether you'll end up slaying him or not. This goes on for about 3 minutes until he finally comes to a conclusion. He goes, best not to tell you yet about his name, but basically a book that absorbed the power of a being far beyond what your comprehension of a god could be. Grants me these powers. And he kind of finishes, subtly as he realizes he didn't answer your question.
He kind of rubs his chin and is and just mumbling to himself, not really hiding it. Do I stab him? Do I not?
Oh, I'm sorry. You
You
can't kill me, Sprungus or Frungus. If you did, your daddy will suddenly burst into a magnificent explosion, and the entirety of the Jotun will be falling out of the sky. It'd be very unfortunate if you killed me at this moment.
Well, what are the odds of that happening?
He looks up at Sprungus and goes, and then looks over to Frungus, waiting to see if Frungus gives a command.
Well, the odds of the giants falling if they kill you.
Oh, 100%. The entirety of the Jotuns will fully fall apart. Their nations will all crumble in a single night.
All right. What's it? Sense motive? No.
Yep.
Insight? No.
It's sense motive. You're right.
Is sense motive?
Right. The command is he's seeing if you're going to tell Sprungus to kill him.
He's very divine. Sprungus is conflicted.
Reagan Utham has decided he is best kept alive. I believe he's probably best kept alive. And kind of looking at Ked, looking at Sprungus and Frungus.
Yeah, it's a 7 sense motive. I believe my assume.
He seems to be fully telling the truth of everything so far. He's legit. Yeah, this seems to be 100% accurate, although as you look at the book he's reading from, the pages are just blank. So you're not 100% sure yourself at this point.
Never learned how to read.
I've seen a lot of shit here and there.
Forgers, about how much time can we take to prepare ourselves before it becomes a foregone conclusion that Volthon has broken through?
She hasn't already, given... Did you manage to steal her item? I know in one timeline, I believe, Kesner not calls down his god and requests her holy power to give him her item?
Technically, yes, but she took it back?
And it disappeared. We don't know if she has it back.
Frungus
if
shakes
it's a
his
magical
head.
item with something in it, it might have just disappeared on its own.
He nods. And he goes, well, then she should be able to get through for at least 3 weeks. 2 weeks if she manages to figure out the secret. The button is underneath the large statue with the very overly endowed individual. If she doesn't figure that out, which, to be honest, who looks under those things as the first thing on a statue? I think we should be able to manage about a 3 weeks' time. On the safety, I would like to leave within 7 days, no later.
Hey, Dom, you got
I
that in
can
your
agree with
notes?
that.
What was that, Kez?
Maya, you got that in your notes?
Yeah, I'm right. The moment he started speaking, I don't know if you could hear. I started frantically
Oh, I can hear the keys. I'm like, especially the button underneath. like
yeah.
the
By the way,
voluptuous
DM
statue.
said
The
that.
start button.
It could be something like, oh, I got it wrong. In this timeline, it's under the non-well-endowed statue, but I wrote that shit down. I'm not gonna not write that down.
He looks up at Sprungus as Sprungus does the, like, I'm watching you thing, and looks up at him and goes, well, I mean, I could wipe out your papa right now, but that would be a cruel and unfortunate thing, as he is a kind and benevolent god that saves many. And just sees if Sprungus says anything.
Sprungus is just staring.
Okay. He looks back at you, the rest of the party, and goes, are you wanting to stop at night in the shop, or would you rather me take you up to Velkomen while your team steals the airship, which should be fixating in 3, 2... And you see a large explosion from up in the cave entrance of fire and ice shooting out. And goes, they've succeeded. I guess I was correct.
I don't think we're allowed to step foot
We
back
can't
in
go into Knighton,
Velkomen.
unfortunately. Yeah, sorry, we can't go into Velkomen. But what is our final? Are we going to Knighton to resupply, or are we gonna go over to King's End to resupply?
King's Inn.
Yes.
He nods at that and he goes, alright, we can head there, and then you lot take you the rest of the way by airship after you've managed to get some shopping. If I believe correctly, Og should have managed to get most of the mercantile district up, but the palace, if I remember correctly, will be in ruins. He will not take any audiences if this is the same. And he looks over at Sprungus and stares at the cracks where the cracks used to be for a moment from taking the damage earlier, and goes, no, the palace will be taking guests. I guess Og has managed to get more done than we believed, though certain areas will be blocked off due to the corruption. Shouldn't be a problem, though. What you're shopping for, as he flips the page and goes, my item doesn't tell me that. That's new. As he looks at you, Ida, for a minute and goes, tilts his head and goes, either you've managed to figure out how to break the timeline, or you've managed to somehow find a flaw in my magic item. It's unfortunate, as he closes his book.
Because I have to kill you now.
I just gives him a bit of a shit-eating grin, and taps his gauntlets.
Kind of looks at you and goes, no, it's not your spellfire abilities. Though I do have interesting information on that. Did you know that the Regan had a book on it?
What?
Stom also looks surprised.
Yeah, so it seems he's been working on the background, studying it in his free time. Apparently there's a bit more notes to your species than we thought. You apparently belong to a rare tribe, or at least those who can use your ability do. A rare tribe of snowbeards that live in the Underdark and specialize in hunting creatures deep beneath the ground.
Maybe I'll follow after my people one day.
It'd be quite an interesting thing. From what I was able to gather, there's even something called that says that as they get older, they're whisked away to go beneath the ground and kill the strongest and most powerful creatures they can find, as if some sort of calling or something.
I just things is I have been rather reckless lately.
But, I digress. Please, grab aboard as we'll be following after your friends who have already managed to figure out we're going to King's End as they are being chased by, as he looks up and sees a couple small little airships that are about 10 feet long chasing after this massive 60-foot barge of a ship that is just fat and slow, kind of moving after.
We might have to deal with those.
Nope, not our problem this time around. You can apologize to your dad when we get back.
We're not going to be any part of their thievery, alright?
Oh, those aren't frost giants or the Regan Uthams. Those are the Black Hand chasing them.
Those are the Black Hand.
But it looks like they have magic missile ones on hand, as any smart pirate crew would have. As you see one of these small airships get shot down by a couple of bolts of red light hitting into the side.
Aren't you so glad we made an alliance with these guys?
I am, especially because nobody has a brooch of shielding.
Right? But as Bart just kind of guides you all over to the airship and goes, I did fix the airship, by the way. There's now I didn't really have to take the ladder as he leads you to the back and seems to pull on a lever that undoes the back of the cargo bay, opening it up and allowing to roll in the wagon. And goes, I had to move the engine off to the side. As you can kind of see, it's been shoved and kind of compartmentalized. And goes, made a few improvements. Now the ship shouldn't explode at all.
A marvel of, I don't know, whatever, Barger's engineering.
He nods up and down at that and smiles and goes, this is a work of a friend of mine I stole it from. You'll meet him here probably in about, actually, you've already kind of met him. You'll meet him again very soon, though, I imagine.
We meet a lot of people, it seems.
That's a good thing, though.
Some cases.
He ushers you with though.
Listen, dog, it's all about networking, all right? Your network's your net worth.
Flashback to us meeting the kids, flashback to us being outside, flashback to us doing this and this and this. And just, yeah.
As you lot climb aboard the ship, though, Bargerus kind of brings on the wagon and kind of shows Sprungus and Frungus to a little area for them to rest up and sit, thinking that you're like the rest of the party and have to sleep. Or rather, at least he's acting as if that seems to be the case, trying to show courtesy as he shows you to where the bunks are set up, kind of assigning you to a bunk each. And as he shows you about the ship, kind of showing the kitchen, everything else looks to be normal, and as it was, other than the cargo bay having a back lever now able to allow it to just fall out, and it seems to need some force to pull it back up, so you do have to close it from the outside, as you realize, to push it back up into its locking position. But as you kind of go about the airship, Bar just takes you up to the top deck and looks about and goes, the captain's quarters has about 200 books in there with Regan Utham's personal notes in them. Don't smudge them, don't write in them. If the Regan finds out we stole them, I will tell them that you did it if you wrote in them.
Just kind of nod.
Okay. Go ahead.
I was going to say, well, Dom, time to hit the books. Not literally, just in case that was not clear.
So you want me to steal from my father?
It's already been stolen. I mean,
it's already here. I'm just saying, read.
Well, who am I to stop you from reading? Utham's usually okay with people reading in his town, and if he's not, wasn't my idea.
I was also saying you should read too.
Obviously, I'm going to read the forbidden books. Are you kidding?
Okay, good.
Of course you're gonna read it.
These aren't
that energy of like a kid who's like, this is something I'm not supposed to see. I need to see it.
Bargerus
I
just looks
just sidle
like
up to Bargerus and just shake my head. Just just let him think that they're forbidden. He'll be a lot more excited.
They're okay. Literally, these were donated for common use. Oh, okay.
I can hear you all. You know that. I have really good hearing. It's been established.
Shut up and go back to reading.
You're not my father. You can't tell me what to do. I'm going to read though. No. Yeah, Tom will read the books. I want to get a PM. It's my turn this session to get a PM.
Yeah, as you guys kind of head in there to kind of begin reading amongst the books, Bar just kind of gets the airship going, and he goes, all right, the two godly sons down below should be able to get themselves set up comfortably. The rest of you should be capable of finding yourselves something to do for the next couple of days. We'll set down in King's End. You guys are welcome off the ship once I dock it and go amongst the town. I'll be staying aboard. Nothing personal. I just don't want to run into cultists. And we'll head out as soon 7 days following. Is that understood? As he looks about you lot and says over the intercom.
Just kind of give him a nod.
Perfect. I appreciate all of you for flying air, Bargerus. That's a joke you'll get when you're dead. But you're... not ancestors. Future generations will understand it. Something along the barbarian bombers as well, as you hear the ship begin to kind of make a scuttling and explosive sound down from the cargo bay below. The Goslings and Ned running upstairs at some shock and sound. As the ship kind of jerks forward and you hear Bar just go, Well, that doesn't normally happen. We're going to end the session there. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed. And when we join you next time, we'll see you at King's End.